Morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day and had a fantastic evening, because I sure as hell didn't, but it could have been worse, that's for sure. There we go. Cool. All right. Well, let's get to chatting for a bit. I have all the time in the world. I got quite a bit today. All right. Oh, what did I do there? There we go. Usual suspects should show up soon, I would think. I may add my tank to the process today. Gonna end up with the second part of catching a tang, I'll tell you that. That is so coming. So there we go. I don't know if we got anybody extra yet or not. Oh, I should make my links up front though. Make some links. They say to make links. Share the love. Right. Well, at least that's working today. Apparently got the sniffles too. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Let us get... yeah, I'll add that for now. It's all charged up, so... at least something to look at while we're waiting for people to climb on board here. Hey, what's going on, Doratigat? Gonna hear me go silent for a moment, and I shall return in a moment. I'm just putting up stream for the tank, so be right back. Take 2 secs. Sorry about that, folks. Just setting the stream up. I totally forgot to do that, just so people can see it. How's everybody doing? What's going on, folks? There we go. Drop a few things in. Anybody wants to pop in the hangout, feel free. Come on in. Yeah, so I had an interesting evening. Some people know what happened to me. Some people don't. And apparently, I am out of coffee now, too. That's awesome. I'm having a bang-up morning, folks. That's a little... Oh, I know where it is. 2 secs, folks. 2 secs. I'm going to grab a coffee more than anything else and turn down the phone. Because all I can do is hear myself out in the kitchen. It's kind of weird. It's like someone's watching me. I find volcanoes burn. Just saying. So how is everybody this fine morning now that I'm actually sat down, have a drink, have a smoke, and my camera's up and running, and I'm not leaking water everywhere? So for you people that did not know, there was only a few people in here last night. My blue tang and my main tank has decided to take a liking to eating the antenna off my shrimp. I'm pretty sure he killed my neon goby, and he's just generally being an asshat, as tangs generally are.
Hey, there we go.
There we go, Jeeves. And so then, while I was kind of getting my chat on after sort of dealing with that and realizing I wasn't going to catch him right away, it's going to take a little work, same as it did last time. The input hose, so the water coming from my tap to my RODI unit, burst wide open. So it was dumping 80 pounds of pressure like a fire hose through, and nobody heard it. I thought I did. I thought I heard a pop, like something to that effect. Wife walked out, "Oh my God, honey," and it's a normal thing. And we ended up spending an hour and a half cleaning up the mess. And I'm still doing the laundry from it because we had used every last towel in the house.
It's funny how that goes, huh?
Well, thankfully it wasn't on like all night. If it was on all night, that would have been, what, 100, 110 gallons of water?
Oh, that'd been a lot.
Yeah, because direct line, right? It wasn't the pressure line on the other side, right? Anyway, yeah. My heartbreak would be the waistline because that's the 4 gallons, 4-to-1 ratio, right? So, yeah, it happens, and I know why it happened, and I can't stop laughing about why it happened. The wife hit me a couple of times for that one on the back. I used a softer 1/4-inch line so that I could mold it around the corners and everything and keep it out of the way. And
you didn't use the PEX?
Right, it wasn't the PEX. So what happened is when it was behind the stove, it kept expanding. Right, well, if you know anything about soft line, it won't shrink back. So what happened was it created a big bulgy soft spot. So eventually, I would put money down, folks, that my sediment filter is getting really full because that put enough back pressure on the line that it popped the line. So, yay! My floors are nice and clean now. Yeah.
You have all tile?
Yeah, it's tile floor. So
That's
some
good.
of them lifted up because of it, but I can glue them back down. That's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I have laminate wood in my washroom in my kitchen because the people that had the house before me, went cheap and put it in there. And that's what I'm looking for. And so when I had a leak, I didn't notice it until I went to go grab a glass out of the cabinet. And when I stepped on the laminate wood, it squished and water came up through the joints.
Oh, yeah. So we know there's water hiding out under it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually I'll go with tile.
It just is easier because even if it lifts up, it didn't get under the rest. It only got under that one. So you dry it up, you make sure the rest of the floor is dry.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 right? So
you can't hurt it.
No, you can't hurt it.
The laminate that I have is expanding on the joints a little bit. So it looks like crap now.
Yep. Yeah. The fun we have playing with water.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't the same as fresh water. There's where the difference in the hobby is right there. We have to make water You only have to use tap water to go put it in. If you get a spill, it's either your tank exploded or you're an idiot. You know what I mean? That's literally it. One's the accident that everybody fears. The other one's you just did something stupid. Unfortunately for us, we use high pressure. Well, you know what I'm talking about. We use high pressure systems. Well, I wouldn't say high, medium pressure. 80 pounds is where I'm running my lines. So, you know.
I mean, that's pretty good pressure. That's what we pump at work.
Yeah. So, I mean
our
that's pretty
hydraulics are what you would truly consider high pressure.
high pressure. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's 2,000, 2,500 on our hydraulic system.
Yeah. So it was pretty wild. So my buddy's coming over a little later. So I won't be streaming all afternoon. I gotta go get blood drawn today so I can get my A1C done, which, if you don't know, is a 3-month marker on your diabetes and all that good stuff. And he wants to have a look at a couple other things that are going on so that we can get my blood pressure properly controlled. I don't get upset. Well, you know, like it doesn't matter if I'm at rest or upset. My blood pressure is just a little high. And when I say a little, it's only a little, but it's enough to be concerning. Just a little concerning.
Yeah, I made a nurse crap on herself the other day.
Oh,
she took my blood pressure. You know, I mean, I've told you I'm a big guy.
yeah.
She took my blood pressure with the wrong size cuff.
Oh,
so when she took my blood pressure and she looked at it, she said, "Do you feel okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." "Why?" "I was going in for my work physical."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm fine." "Why?" She said, "Your blood pressure is 230 over 140. I'm like,
oh, that's a heart attack.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, "How are you not?" I was like, she was newer. She went and called the other nurse. She said, "Oh no." She said, "You got to use this cuff."
Yeah.
And then it came back where it usually is, which is just borderline or a little high.
Moderately high or whatever they call it. Yeah. At rest, I'm 163 over 89.
Oh, so, no. I'm like 130 over 75 or 80.
Oh, you're fine. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Hey, stop. Come on, cat. My kid.
I thought you were telling me to stop.
No, I'm going to tase my cat. I'm getting a taser. I'm done with this. That'll teach you.
Just get a shot collar for the mini dogs.
Yeah, exactly, right? Just every time you do something. No.
If I'm being too loud, let me know. I'm trying to
get you're all right,
my lawnmower.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I got a little siphon pump and all to do it, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Actually, stop picking up my chair, you dick. Sorry, my cat thinks my office chair is a scratching post, as it were. So who we got left in here? I saw Duradicate. I know Lisa popped in, and I know Keith was in. We'll get a few more, I'm sure. I think I'm reaching the end of whatever was bothering me, because now my nose is in the big I'm going to run phase, or I'm the other way and I'm headed in. One of the two. Either way, I'll go see the doctor. It's all good. But no, it's so I am setting up like they said to last night. I had quite a few people say they wanted to be able to donate, super chat style, that kind of thing. So I'm like, oh, I mean, I can do that. It's not what I'm about to do, but they were quite adamant, to say the least. So now I was like, okay. So I'm going to set that up today with my buddy to make sure it runs like Mike's. It's kind of going to be that style of streaming. And it'll make no difference to you guys come and find people coming in here. It will just look different for me, and it'll look a little different on the screen.
Was you going through OBS?
It's going to be Streamlabs OBS.
Yeah, that's what I use. I like it. Or I started using.
Well, it's simpler, and I can add more to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to be able to, at some point, either switch between my tanks, and I'm going to have 3 tanks here in the next few weeks, right? And that's more what they want to donate to, is that 5-gallon Pico Bonsai Reef that I'm going to be doing. So, I'm like, I can do that. Hey, listen, buddy, what you do in the privacy of your own bedroom?
You talking to me?
I'm talking to you, boy.
Oh, I know. I'm using a pump siphon for oil.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Freaks.
I know, eh? Aren't we all bad? All of a sudden, what the hell is he doing? Is he fapping?
No. It's there. We go. Now I got siphon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using an oil siphon here to get. Oh,
You want funny? Have you ever seen somebody put synthetic into an older two-stroke?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that is hilarious, right?
Synthetic two cycle oil. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't work.
two-cycle. It does not work, and everyone's like, "Why?" Well, you see, you always have a bit of a leak on a small engine, a little one. If you put synthetic in there, you have a big one.
Yep.
Yeah, my old man did it, and I told him not to do it. And I don't know why. I think because he got his new truck, and his new truck was full synthetic.
Yeah.
His 2017 Z71 that he bought. He loves that truck. I'm so proud of him that he
It's
got
a
his own.
17 Z71. You said?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, 2018. Sorry, it's a 2018. He bought it in 2017, so it'll be a
It's the
2018.
Chevrolet or the GMC?
He's got the Chevrolet. Yeah, so it's a Silverado Z71, and he got the full back doors. And I said, "No, you didn't." And he goes, "Yes, I did." And I went, "No, Dad."
He got the double cab like I have.
He got the double cab, right? And he's still happy. I mean, still tons of room in the back seat, right?
And to be honest, the double cab is perfect for me. You know, me,
Yeah.
my wife, or girlfriend when I bought this. No kids. Occasionally a buddy will jump back there. Occasionally my uncle if we're at the lease.
Yep.
My nephew. And for somebody like my grandfather, who I can't get him to understand that he doesn't need a crew cab.
No.
Well, it's got a big back seat. I said, Grandpa, I said, it's you and Granny 98% of the time. I said, if y'all go anywhere with people, you go with my aunt and my uncle, and you take their four-door crew cab, big lariat. I said, so what does it matter?
What's it matter? Yeah, exactly. Get yourself something that's a little easier on gas.
Yeah, and about $8,000 cheaper.
But no,
it's almost $8,000 difference in price from double cab to crew cab.
So the story of it being that he was doing this upgrade or fixing up this old engine on the lawnmower, and he started it up, and he couldn't understand why he was getting this spray of oil on his lower limbs, right? And I said, it's because it's spraying out here on the gasket, right? And he goes, well, why is it doing that? I said, did you replace that? No, I didn't want to take that all apart. I said, the only way you can switch this over to synthetic is you have to replace all the seals, right? Anyway, hilarious. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's me. All right. Let's see what I can get into today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's like, when are you replacing your hose? Probably this weekend. So I can't make water till this weekend. And I'm still debating.
It was the feed line out from the RODI, or it was the feed line to the RODI?
To the RODI.
Oh,
so it was on the tap side. Yeah, so it was just direct flow, right? It
That'd have been more than 100 gallons. That'd have been a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
You have, what, 100 gallon per day DI?
I got 100 gallon per day DI, yeah.
So that'd have been 500 gallons of water, or half of that, 50. Yeah, it'd have been like 300 gallons of water, because you figure you got 4 to 1 coming out of that pressure nozzle, if not more, because you actually have back pressure on it with the unit.
Yeah, so you got to think I had 80 pounds of pressure coming in. That's the feed line.
You'd have 400 to 500 gallons of water through the house.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would have been bad if it hadn't been caught when it did. It probably ran for about 15 minutes. Because I heard the pop, and then I heard the wife about 15 minutes later going, oh, my God, right? It's water. And you ready? It popped over the 220 line for the stove.
Oh.
It didn't touch it. It was dry as a bone. We're talking I used paper towel just to touch it. I was just looking for the litmus paper. You know what I'm talking about? Is it wet anywhere here? No, it's not. Okay. And she's like, well, unplug it. I said, are you insane? Yeah. I said, right now it's sealing it. We're going to leave it that way. I'm going to put a towel, dry one over it just in case, right? I said, trust me, right? Anyway, yeah. Now we're cleaned up maybe a little more, and now it's all the fallout from that and all the cat hair and everything else on the floor.
Y'all use the same power as us?
Yeah, 110. Yeah.
110, 220, 60 hertz?
You got it.
Or 120, 240 now?
120, 240, yeah. Yeah, the stove would have been 220, right? So, yeah.
My brother is in electrical engineering, works for the power company, and he can't give me an explanation why it's like that.
The stove?
If you look at something, it's rated 110/120. So, which one is it? He said, most of them are 120 now, but it used to be 110. So
you got it. Yeah. You know what? I can't give you an answer either. I've never gotten a straight answer as to why we have that variance.
He was explaining it's because a while back they stepped it up.
Yeah.
to deal with voltage drops. That way, at minimum, you're getting 110. You know, because if it's running at 110, you can drop down to 100, 105 volts.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that camera's looking poopy today. Let me tell you. Sorry about the picture quality, folks. I'm going to guess that one of the cats just breathed on my phone. Nope. So, yeah. All right, your etiquette. See you in a moment. Yeah. So, yeah, that was my exciting evening. My Tang that's a douche nugget who's got to go. And, yeah, I figure I'll get him out and then I'll start loading the bacteria back into my tank because I think I'm having a mini crash. Nothing big, nothing to worry about, just more excess nutrient.
Yeah, for algae.
Yeah. So it's like, no, something's going on. Enough, it's easy enough to figure out. Yeah. Or sort out, not figure out, sort out. Yeah. I get a buddy of mine to run into the shop in Moncton. I won't go in. I can't go in. The guy won't let me near him anyway because he's scared death I'll kill him. But I need Colony, and he's the only guy in the Maritimes that's close that's carrying it. So I can get it from One Fish, Two Fish, but it'll cost me $30 to ship it to me. Yeah. It's like, no, Ted. That's not going to work.
Speaking of which, did you ever look up shipping on that light?
Yeah. So do you know how much it weighs?
It's going to be less than a pound. I'd say a pound would be a rough estimate.
Well, let's call it 2, just to be fair. So USPS. I was sort of looking at it. Let's see what they're going to charge us here. Mail and ship. Calculated price. What size would you say? Give me a sec here. Mailing it from what's your
70810?
70810. That's right. Tennessee, right?
No, Louisiana.
Louisiana. That's it.
I was working in Tennessee. I would say 8x8x4 box or 8x6x4 box. I can fit it in.
8-inch?
Yeah.
8x6x8?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. What would you estimate the value of that light if it went missing?
$60.
$60, so we'll call it 60. And we'll call then.
Yeah, there's $62 new, so.
And flat rate box.
I'm just thinking about how inappropriate that oil pump sounded on.
Yeah. Gets good for a giggle. So if it would fit into 8 5/8 by 5 3/8 by 1, that's too small.
Yeah, and it just needs to be taller. The same footprint, but taller.
No.
2 or 3 would be plenty with bubble wrap. Because that light's right about an inch tall.
You can do a 9 1/4 by 6 1/4 by 2 inch.
That should be plenty.
So that's called the large video flat rate box. $25.95.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, and that's 6 to 10 days, which is well within what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I have so much prep work to do. I got to test my theory about using the Tetra automatic heater in the C3 and making sure that it stays covered. Yep. Right. And it's like, because you know what happens to heaters if they become uncovered. Yeah. Although I'm right here, I'll hear it. And I'm going to get a not right away, but I'm going to get a GFCI outlet to plug into the power bar. so that the power for that is on a GFCI. So if it goes, it blows that instead of relying on the fuse on the what do you call it, power bar.
Yeah.
So
what kind of heater are you going to end up going with?
it's going to be a Tetra.
Okay. I mean, I've been debating. I have a little cheapo glass heater in my Nano now,
Yeah,
but I've been looking at maybe the Cobalts. But
I'd love to do a Cobalt.
It
To do
seems
one.
like every brand of heater has leak problems at some point.
Well, the Cobalts, with the exception of the 200 watt, are rock solid. Nobody's
so the 200 watt has problems?
Yeah, that's the only one, and they got rid of them. They don't even carry them anymore. They can't find a way to make them that big and not have that liquefaction problem in the plastic. So they stopped making them, right?
That's why they make, if you need a 300, it's two 150s wired together.
You got it. That's what they did. They went with the biggest one they know is solid, right? Because you can hit them with a hammer. You can hit these things with a freaking hammer.
Because, I mean, I've looked at the Eheim Jaegers, but even people have had problems with Eheim Jaegers.
Oh, yeah. I had a Jaeger electrocute my wife.
Yeah. So it seems like pretty much any of them. So I'm looking at the Cobalt or maybe a Phoenix Titanium.
Titaniums are pretty rock solid, too. Now, that's too big, but there is a Cobalt Neotherm that's the really tiny one. I wonder if... I bet you it's still expensive enough to make you choke.
Yeah, it's like $40 for the 25 watt here.
Heaters.
Which I need a 50 watt heater for that 25 gallons.
Huh. I don't think they carry them at the other big one. I know another way to look that up, though. Well, let's look it up that way. I know they have them. What is it, the 50 watt?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That's rated for a 25 gallon tank, I believe.
$56. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's still too big for my app. There's a really small one though. There's one, I think it's 25 watts.
Yeah, the Cobalt Neotherm 25 watt.
Could do a 5 gallon quite nicely, I think.
So you know what I use on my 75? Most people are probably going to hate me for it, but I use the little $12 Aqueon preset heaters.
Yep, that's what I'm going to use, the Tetra preset.
Yeah, and, because they're indestructible. I mean, they're not glass body. Okay, the thermostats in them aren't the greatest, but they work. They're preset. They work on off. But then I have the Inkbird controller on it.
Yep.
The little Inkbird controller wired up, which was $15. So that gives me, a backup control, and I run the Inkbird lower than the heaters. So that way the Inkbird is the primary control, and then the heaters are the secondary control.
Well, there you go. It is for the 25 watt, which is do 6 gallons, which is what I need. On eBay is showing $40, which isn't bad, but it's $29 shipping from the States.
Oh.
It's like, that's a kick in the old emotional nutsack.
Ship it to my house. I'll ship you one little bit bigger box.
Yeah, really, eh? Is Aquarium Depot selling them? No. So nobody wants because they're expensive, right? That's the trick. People are, man, why do people cheap out on heaters, eh? That's the one that gets me. Here's this beautiful, big, expensive tank you have, and you got a cheap shit heater on it, right? I mean, a Jaeger works, but it's got a 2-degree variance, right? But a Jaeger for my tank, notifications.
And they're big.
Right?
That's my problem with the Jaegers is they're long.
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah, so you got to use 150s if you want to get them into a sump. And they're $35 a piece, but now I got to buy 3 of them, or I got to minimum have 2 and run them in the return so it stays warm enough in the tank right? And it's like, oh,
See, I
yeah,
guess I should do that, but we don't have problems with cold. When my power goes out, it's usually during the late spring, fall, or summer, which is 80, 90 degrees outside. So it gets warmer before it'll get colder.
yeah, exactly, right. I have the opposite problem. I have cooling issues in the summer,
Yeah.
but they're not even that important, right? Open a window and everything cools off instantly,
Oh,
right?
yeah. See, we can't
Yeah,
do that during the summer. Right? The AC fights to keep up
yeah,
because it's so freaking hot.
yeah.
And it doesn't help that my house was built in the 60s, so all the windows are single pane,
Yep.
crap. If I change those out to like the front room where my aquarium is, if I change the two windows on that room, I'm sitting here looking at them, to the double pane insulated windows,
Yep.
it would stop that.
Yeah, there's a 2 degree variance on Jaegers.
Jaegers.
Yeah.
The Finex and the Cobalts I know are very accurate, very
Yeah, I think
precise.
Finex is 1 degree at most, and the Cobalt Neotherms are zero point 0.5,
Right.
and they can't even get them to vary off of that. They're
Have
actually,
you ever watched the BRS test on it?
yeah, watch the BRS TV heaters, and
Yeah.
trust me, you'll be instantly surprised.
Well, see, it depends on which was it Finex you get, because one of the Finexes is like zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.4 total, because it has a zero point 0.1 accuracy on it.
Yep.
But that's like we were helping a guy. That was actually when I first got on Rico's stream. He couldn't figure out. He was trying to recalibrate his brand new. He had bought 2 of the 500-watt Finex heaters because he's
Yep.
got a big system. And he was, oh, well, they're running hot. They're running hot. They're running hot. I can't. I said, look, I said, this is what you need to do. He's like, I need to recalibrate them. So you don't need to recalibrate the heater. I said, you just need to reset your thermostat to find out the difference.
Yep.
And I had to go through that whole process with him. I was like, look, take them out. I said, you put one in a 5-gallon bucket. I said, you put a thermometer on it. So you run it at 78. If it comes out at 80, you know that it's a minus 2 degree
Variance. Yep.
Yeah. Put a little piece of paper tape or on the back of the controller and write it on there, minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Do the same thing with the other one.
Yep.
It might be +1. And then you just set them where they both need and they're there. He goes to pull them out of the aquarium and drops the controller for one of them in the water and fries it.
That's the way it
Brand new,
goes.
had just gotten them. I'm like, whoa.
Rico lost the Achilles. That sucks.
That
Don't
does
wish
suck.
that on the fish. Yeah.
That fish was rough to begin with.
Yeah. There was ick involved, as I seem to recall.
I don't think he didn't have ick. He was malnourished.
Was he malnourished and wasn't eating? That's right.
He came
That's
in.
right.
He wasn't eating. He was thin, emaciated. He put him in that box and started to get him to eat. Put him in, and apparently he started gaining some weight. But I mean, if he came in emaciated, a fish isn't going to be emaciated after what, 2 weeks?
Couldn't be.
3
No.
weeks. So the fish probably wasn't eaten in the wild, which probably means he's older because he was an adult or, larger Achilles from what I remember.
Yeah, he was.
So there was something in the wild where he wasn't eaten in the first place. Either he was being outcompeted but natural selection was apparently doing its job.
Yeah, it's the way it works, right? Yeah, it's too bad. I don't wish that. Anybody want a hippo tang? Mine's coming out. I'm done with that shithead. He's basically picking on my shrimp. And he bit the antennae off the cleaner shrimp, the skunk cleaner, right down to the point that he's got maybe an inch left, not even.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you're coming out today, but at some point I will crack into that and just stand there and wait. Come on up. You got to eat. You got to eat. Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm thinking of Mike's. Mike's is dealing with ick.
Yes.
But he's fat. He's healthy. He's swimming. Rico's, as I recall, was emaciated and seemed to be eating, but he probably wasn't getting enough.
Yeah. I think it was too little, too late, probably.
Yeah. Now, Annika, to answer the Eheim Jaeger questions, they're fine. You just have to remember that there can be a 2 degree variance up and down. And what you got to do is, that's what the calibration thing on it's for, the little red thing. So what you do is you put it into a 5-gallon bucket, and you test, the water there. And is it saying 82 on a thermometer? Don't. I think if we did it. Oh, and by the way, guys, other big news. Did everybody know they pulled the moratorium off the aquarium trade in Hawaii?
No.
So that's been popped, gone. So that's no longer going to affect us, which means, unfortunately, yellow tangs are probably going to start up in a big way again.
I wonder if it was just during breeding season.
I would think that somebody did something intelligent.
Just like for us deer hunting, you can't hunt. You can only hunt 2-3 months out of the year, and that's when they're right before they start breeding and when they start breeding. So there's no young. They're not building body mass. They're not growing horns. They're not raising young.
Yeah, that's not never. I like that. Don't ever say you're not going to get a tang till you've had them and finally had enough. And even then, all we need to know is this. Mike says no more tangs. What's in his tank right now? An Achilles tang covered in ick. So there you go. Right? I say never, and the wife will even look at me, and I know it's going to be all of a sudden I'm going, ooh, and it'll be something. Yeah, you can calibrate an Eheim. You can calibrate any of them. It's just a little more difficult getting your baseline, but you can do it. It's the same way. You put it in a tub, you test it. If you've got a good thermometer, I had a guy who did it between a probe style and his laser one and another one, and he did the mean average off the three. So,
yep. I mean, it's not so. To use that term loosely, it's not technically calibrating on the lower end ones.
You're figuring out its accuracy.
The Eheim is. Yeah. The Eheim has a calibration. Even the higher end, like digital Finexes, you can calibrate them, but you got to find it, and there's a series of buttons you got to press on the controller. It's way easier to adjust the system.
Yep. So if it says 80 degrees on your thermometer, then you know that and it says 78 on your controller, you would set it to 76.
Yeah.
Right, but write down -2 or +2 variants or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Easy way to do that is put a piece of paper tape. If you have the controller ones that have the external controller, put it on the back of the controller. A piece of paper, or what is it called? Butcher's tape?
Yeah,
or masking tape or painter's tape, and write on it with a Sharpie. Yeah. Or if you don't have the controller, put it on the end of the cord by the plug. Yep. You put the tape on there, fold it in half, and makes a little flag for the wire, and you can put on there, heater is +2 or run heater at -2, whichever is easier for you.
I wish you the best of luck, Dr. Welsh. To get 3 yellows, 2 purples, a blonde Naso, and a gold rim / powder brown. Oh, sir. Hopefully they all get along. That's all I hope. I don't wish anybody that kind of crap in their tank. The blue tang otherwise is doing great. He's fat. He's happy. He's doing his thing. It's just you can't. And he pretty much, I'm almost positive he killed my neon goby because he's attacked a couple other fish too. So it's time to go. You're done. You are not a nice guy. You can go into someone else's tank and raise hell.
Well, and that would be good for somebody that has another aggressive tang already, because
because
that's what I was trying to get at yesterday. I've noticed so far from watching videos, because I haven't stocked a lot, but it seems like everybody that if you have an aggressive fish in your tank, I mean, it's kind of hard, but if you have 2 or 3 aggressive fish in your tank introduced at the same time, they kind of check and balance each other.
Yeah.
One will always be the alpha, but the others will only take so much before they'll strike back at him.
Yep, exactly. And you got to watch out for that, because that's where the stress in your tank comes from.
Yes.
And then leads to the thing we all hate, which is then the nasty word ick shows up. Mm-hmm. Right? So even if now that would be the one I'd want to know. Fresh system, fresh tanks that have been treated. You put them in the tank, and I mean treated with copper, folks, right? You did right from the get-go, you did what should be done and what we all consider the standard. And if you put them into a fresh tank that there's no coral and they got ick, that would be an interesting one to now look at. because now it's how did that get there? Because it shouldn't have been in the sand, and it definitely shouldn't have been on dry rock. Yeah, but I digress. Yeah, and a
And
yellow tang is a complete and utter bastard. I've never seen a yellow tang that was placid that didn't have somebody putting them in his place. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because I mean, one of my LFSs is not one of the ones I go to because their tanks are dirtier. Their
Yep.
display tanks are nice, but their system tanks are dirty.
Yep.
Um, they had a because I live in Louisiana, so LSU themed tank that had I don't know probably 30 young yellow and purple tangs in it.
Yeah. Yep.
And they were fine because there were 30 of them. They were all dropped at the same time. They were all relatively the same size,
Well,
so
you're
they kind of
diluting the aggression.
schooled and right. They
Yeah.
kind of schooled and there wasn't one to pick on or one person to do the bullying.
Yep. Nope. So I had a big gas problem there. I'll let a few people know since I got some more viewers in. My feed line for my RODI unit burst last night behind my stove. You guys want to see the burst? I still have the piece that blew out. I can show you. Hold on, it's here. Actually, my wife took a picture of it last night. That's what I'll use. There we go. Wait for that to blow up. You guys see that? Can they see that in the chat? But if you look, you can see the green regular size, and then look at how swelled that side went, and then the blowout right here. So it was basically just dumping water into my kitchen. They couldn't see it? No. Okay. 2 secs, folks. There we go. Can everybody see it now? We'll wait 30 seconds. Fish attack or a heater, but he says no. There we go, folks. Probably dumped about, it was running for 15 minutes after I thought I heard a pop. So imagine you turned your tap on and we're just running it down the wall. That's how much water we got. Oh, I got to knock at my door. 2 secs, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. Sorry about that, folks. The sweet old lady across the way is moving and wanted some help selling some stuff online because she doesn't have a computer. So I did not mean to step away for that long. All right. Oh, anyway, yeah. So I blew that out, and I got a tang this being a douche. So that's why it's called. Is this hobby just about dealing with catastrophes? Sure feels like it, doesn't it?
Oh.
So yeah, yeehaw. So did everybody see that? Was it way too small to see? You know what? Here, guys, give me a sec. I'll run out. I'll put it in front of the camera here. You guys should be able to see it. Take me 2 seconds to do that. There we go. You hear me okay, Jeeves? So there you go, folks. That's what happened to me last night.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, bud. I'm dealing with catastrophes on my own
So
here.
that's what it should look like. That's what happened to the tube. And then it just blew out at that section. Yeehaw.
I'll trade you.
Hey, remember when you used to party when you were younger all the time and throw up and wonder why you're throwing up? My 19-year-old's doing that right now as we speak.
Oh, that's a lovely experience. Yeah, I get to go order parts for the lawnmower.
There we go. Yay. Well, that's kind of cool. I like working on stuff.
No, I just broke the shaft chuck in half.
Oh, dude.
The part that holds the blade to the shaft just cracked.
Yeah. Well, better to do it then than while I was running.
Yeah, I did it while it was running.
Awesomeness. So, all right, I'm going to pop a link. Is anybody wants to pop in? Yeah. And yeah, it was my... Oh, shit. You guys hear him? That's hilarious. Oh, well. Not that I think everybody wants to hear that, so. Oh, so what time is it? Good, I got another. I can only run, well, we'll see how it's going, how many people are in here. I got to go for blood work at 12:45. Usually it takes about 30 minutes. It's only 5 minutes up the road that I got to go, thankfully. So we'll see. It only takes a second. They basically yank my blood. I come home. So then my doctor goes, "Ooh, Craig, I'm telling you, whatever you're doing, it's wrong." You know, but that's okay. So yeah, I got to pull that filter off. So how is everybody doing? I got 7 people in here, and everybody seems to be getting the feed. So we're all good.
I'm just mechanically perplexed right now.
Oh, it's just crap. That's all, Mel. That's just, you know, that bursting last night, that was just, of course, you're all, you know, it's all tension and anger at first, and then you start laughing like, how the hell did that do that? And now my phone's ringing, and no. It's like, well, welcome to Craig's house in the morning, folks. I am not worried about the phone. It can go to voicemail. I'll call you back. You know what I love is under the blues. You see how bright that plate is, man, that it's reflecting on the rock? That is one bright coral, boy. That's what that is.
Fungi plate?
Yep, the fungi plate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a long tentacle.
I think my wife wants one of those too, and it's for the big tank, but I'm going to wait. So
I want something to go on that top, and I'm either going to go. I don't know if I'm going to go SPS and try some different SPS, or if I'm just going to go like fungi plate and LPS and stay simple.
I'd probably go fungi plate and stay simple, just because they seem to survive better. You know, as long as they're not getting molested by a clown or any of that kind of crazy horse shit, they usually do fairly well.
Yeah, and they can survive higher light, right?
Yep, they can.
Sorry if I'm being noisy. I'm trying to wash oil off my hands.
No, that's quite all right. It's too bad I can
parts.
Well, it seems my clowns have gotten to detente anyway, so nobody's freaking out and being a pissant here. Hey, exclusive. So,
what's up?
Not much, man. What's going on with you today?
Not much. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. Yeah.
That's strange.
Why?
No, because I'm using like this Jabra, and there's a speakerphone, and there's a setting here for mute. And all this time, I thought I was muted in the past, and I was not.
Okay.
You still hearing me?
Still hearing you.
Yep.
Well, there goes that idea.
Yeah, that ain't working out for you. Yeah. No, I haven't heard from K Reef today at all, Vicky. I'm hoping that today's the day because we haven't heard from him. So
today's the day for what?
For his girlfriend to give birth.
Oh.
Yeah, she's coming up on. I think she's past due now by a couple of days.
Oh yeah. See, my sister-in-law's due in May, and they pushed the due date up because the baby's so big.
Yeah.
So they're going to force delivery like 2 weeks early.
Yeah. Hopefully the baby is coming. He'll come on. He'll be all proud, Papa happy. Yeah. I'm done with kids, man. I just listened to my 19-year-old throwing up whatever fun he had last night. Yeah.
I started late. I only got one and working on another one.
Yeah, I hear you there. I got two 19-year-olds. So I had my daughter from my first marriage and then my stepson from my second. And complete polar opposites.
And they're both 19?
They're both 19, yeah, by 3 months apart. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're that much older than each other. I'm 44.
46,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, and I have a 4-year-old, so...
Oh, God, no, that would kill me.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm going to jump back over to my computer.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, just one. Yeah. Hey, Budget, what's going on, buddy? Yeah. No, a 4-year-old. Yeah, well, a lot of people start later now, too. Right? You want to have your fun up to that point, so to speak, right? So.
And that's what we did. My wife and I, we kind of enjoy being together. We met late in life, so whatever. It is what it is. Like they say, they keep them young.
Yeah, exactly, right? And if you're enjoying child rearing, for lack of a better term, raising a child, there we go. Demon raising,
as I call it.
Yeah, if you enjoy living with drunken midgets, you're good to go. Yeah.
So apparently, looks like Rico's Achilles tank passed away.
We heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I'm waiting for my shipment. I got a cleanup crew coming and a painted war coral.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So, just waiting here anxiously, like Christmas morning, waiting for my package to get here.
Yippers every time. I got a friend of mine come over, and he's coming over. My appointment's at 12:45, so I'll probably pop out of here just before 12:30, my time, which is like half an hour, and then I'll be back on maybe. Well, it depends. What we're just setting up today is Streamlabs OBS, and I got to record some audio for somebody, and then from there, we're going to see about streaming it up and what we're going to do. So. Okay, you know what I mean? That's the way it's going to be. But he found out I don't have my main rig, and he's like, "Oh, we definitely got to get it set up, man." He goes, people will be like, "Oh, blah." And he's very, very, very excitable fella. He's right into doing the tech stuff. I've been doing it for 30 years. So my idea of tech stuff now is I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't anymore. Right. I said, look, he's like, he came over, he did the video card on my main rig. Just to I bought it. I could have put it in. It's not hard to put a video card in by no stretch of the imagination. Melanie, I'm sure you could put one in if you haven't done so already. It's not a difficult proposition to put it in. It's just I didn't care. I wasn't gaming hard enough to actually push my card, but he wanted me to play Overwatch. And he was so excited to get me playing Overwatch because I'm a good gamer. I mean, I do all right. I did Arena for years in World of Warcraft. Raids are nice. Killing you and pissing you off and sending you into a nerd rage, that was the ticket for me. So I did that for a good many years. Actually got ranked. Was going to go to Anaheim, but it's awfully expensive to go to Anaheim. They're not paying for me to go, right? So I was like, no. I thought even if they paid for the hotel, I'd go, and no. So no, I wasn't going to pay. In the end, it was going to be something like $2,000, $2,500 to go down with my partner and go do this live arena matches. And I'm like, nah, that's okay. I'll avoid that expense. I could buy a new computer for that.
Yeah.
So I still partook. And what did we place? 175th in the world? Which really, if you think about how many people, I think 4,000 teams. So that wasn't bad. I was pretty happy with that. And it was Omitz's lag, my partner's lag on his computer that got us out at that point. That was when I punched the wall. I tell that famous story. I was so pissed. Because we were winning. We were going to win and move on to the next round, which would have put us in the top 100. And because he lagged out, I just couldn't handle those two guys the entire time. Rogue or not, still a pain in the ass. You have only so many stuns. And the match had gone, I don't know if you guys know anything about Arena and WoW, but it only can go on so long before, even if I go invisible, there's things you can run up to and then see me. So you can't hide forever type deal. I was hoping he'd get logged back in and then we'd jump back into the fight, but he couldn't get back on. And yeah, he apologized to me forever about that. Well, it's not, no, whatever. It's just a game, man. I had no thoughts I was going to win. Like win. No. There were teams like we fought one team. They came in and killed us in 15 seconds. Oh, my lights are on. There you go. You can see my tank better. So, no, I'll get back into it. Battle for Azeroth is coming out in August, and Overwatch is still there, and that's kind of fun to play. So, but no, I'll have the new streaming set up hopefully this afternoon, and if not, it'll be tomorrow, something like that. I need some more cameras. Anybody got any Logitech 920s they want to donate? They're a pretty good camera, actually. Those 1080p. Yeah. But no. So anything else going on, Jeeves? You got any fishy plans today?
No, not as of right now.
Oh, just let it ride.
Trying to find this part and order it.
Yeah, my day today will be making sure my salt water is perfect on with this one that I've got brewing, and then I'm going to clean up all that stuff in the front. Is the dead algae that's holding on in the tank. It's just still floating down the bottom there. So I'm going to clean all that up and get any cyano off the rocks I can. Yeah, well, that's babies. That's what they do. Mom, I want chocolate. Go get me chocolate. Shrinking. You're talking about the left corner budget? Kind of looks like a big fat meaty coral. I think that's what he's talking about. That's my donut coral. There was an incident going on in my big tank. I still don't know exactly. It was high nutrient, I think. And that led to an explosive purple, red coralline, for lack of a better term, growth. And I had to take them out to protect them. It is a donut coral. It's kind of an offshoot of the Trachophilia family. And he's recovering. He was barely holding on to that skeleton. At one point, maybe an eighth of an inch square was still attached. He's about halfway reattached himself, and I'm just letting him recover in here and got him in a nice, stable, low flow area, and he's doing good. Yeah, he's like a green, orange, reddish thing. Pretty cool looking when he's out and open. He's much better than he was. He was at one point, I think even you remember, Jeeves, he was like folded over like 5 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just that one side still kind of folded over. Hey, Mr. Cruz, I saw you earlier. How you doing, Captain? Yeah. Buddy of mine wants me to run my streams on the afternoons, and I said, well, I really can't. You know that agreement we have, Jeeves. I said, but I could do more. I said I could do 2 shows a day, and he went, oh my God, you could, couldn't you? And I went, yeah, I could do it. I think Howard Stern was doing that at one point.
I don't know. I hadn't watched Howard Stern in so long. He hadn't been on for how long now?
He hasn't been on. Yeah, I'm sure it didn't. Yeah, so. Okay, anyway, kid just said something stupid. My brain now hurts. What?
That's funny.
You know. The bonsai will be started, I'm hoping, if not this weekend, it'll be next weekend. I've got most of my stuff acquired. Now I just got to, or equipment found in my equipment closet. I'm getting a brand new tank, and that's going to be somewhat cheaper through Pet Value here in St. John wants to help me out with that. And they're going to give me, I think, 25% off. So take care of the taxes and a little bit of the price. So I'll pick that up this weekend, I hope. And then I'm not sure about the rock. The rock selection I have in my sump that I didn't use in this display here may or may not be enough. But if I can make it work, I will. If not, I'm going to buy some semi-live, basically pre-cured rock. And it'd be similar to this. And I'm going to do it to scale, right? Because it's going to be bonsai. Mm-hmm. And when you call it sponsoring, they're not officially allowed to do that. But yeah, basically that's what they're doing. So, and my theme is more of doing it on a budget as well. So the only expensive part is the Miracle Mud that I'm going to be using as a substrate. Yeah, I can do that. I got to go back and remove some other links there just in case. I don't want too many people trying to jump in. There we go, right there. Yeah, so I got another 30 minutes I'm going to run here. If we get enough people in here, I might leave it running because I'm not going to be gone that long. I got to go get blood work done today. Hello, Annika. How are you?
Hi. I like that you're theming a tank about it being on a budget. That's one of the things when I very first entered the reef community, as we like to call it. I noticed a lot of people, I don't think they were bragging, but it seemed like a lot of people focused on attaining to the bigger, better, as soon as I can buy the next, it was almost like there's kind of like in sports cars. It's like, you've got this, and as soon one day I'm going to trade in my 2 Porsches and I'm going to get a Ferrari, like that sort of thing. I'm going to save up for this. I think you focusing, because I kind of wanted to go that direction too. Maybe we both can.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But I know that you're like in a situation where you kind of have to be budget conscious. So maybe it's kind of pressuring you that way. But I think it'd be really good for you because you're like a very personable person and you're easy you're approachable. I think, at least on the internet. I don't know you in real life, so you could be a complete
I'm very
dick.
approachable. Trust me, I am. Trust me, my wife gets driven nuts by the fact that I can walk in anywhere, and it seems to be. And
people gravitate toward you. Well, you're very friendly. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're very friendly. I'm not. I'm 9 feet tall, so people cower when I walk in the room. And I'm just kidding. But I think you kind of like, if you want to make that kind of a theme, that's a theme I haven't seen anybody go with. Now, Joey DIY does DIY stuff, which was kind of going to be my thing, but he's kind of cornered the market on that.
He really has. And if you look at what he's done to get there, I mean, and even then, I mean, he says king of DIY. Yeah, I'll give Joey one knock. Talking about buying 8x4 sheets of goddamn acrylic, if you look at the price of that acrylic, is so cost prohibitive.
Yep.
That you have to, that's not on a budget, man. I can go buy a tank the same size as what you're talking about for less than you paid for one sheet of that acrylic.
Yeah.
Right? So that I've always disagreed with, but everything else he's ever done has always been that I could look at it and go, okay, no, he's doing that. That's true. That would be the cheapest way to do said project. Right. But the acrylic, that's always been like, man, acrylic's, super expensive.
Well, it's really difficult to ship that piece. It would have probably been easier if it had gotten to half size, but I don't think that would have worked with what he was doing. Like cut it in half. Like right now, like I'm ordering a bunch of metal. I'm ordering fine silver. Shit is not cheap. So how I'm ordering it is in full pieces, but not to exceed 12 by 12 inches. Because I figure I have a torch. In fact, that's what I'm doing today is I'm setting up my torch. So I'm going to drag you guys out into my machine shop here in a little bit.
Oh, well,
and no, I don't mean torch in my aquarium either. I ordered a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to have to build a foundry, and then I'm going to have to build a, like an area for my torch. So, because right now it's like sitting on an island in the middle of the shop, and I can't be using gas in the middle of. I need to have it off to a side with like proper ventilation and next to a fire extinguisher. That's just So I'm going to be reorganizing that today.
Cool. Oh, I love.
And also,
it's
something that my husband. Okay. Also, my husband had I've been working a lot on my computer. But he also knows I'm in Hangouts because, he knows I do this. And even last night, he was like, "Are you getting any work done?" Because he can't see it with his eyes. I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Look at my server. Yes, I've been getting a lot of work done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if he comes in and he walks in my shop and he sees everything's moved, he's gonna be like, "Oh, okay." Or if I fold a basket of laundry, he's like, "Oh my god, you did something."
You did the laundry.
Dude, I'm fucking working. Money is coming in the house. Money is coming in.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Like my wife's, it's kind of funny that I thought she was upset about it. Wasn't. I misread that a little bit, but it was more it was funny. I walked in last night there, and after we cleaned up the explosive water leak that we had, we dodged so many bullets on that, folks.
So what happened?
So
you guys had a water leak?
Yeah, my main feed coming from the tap to my RODI unit blew out. So basically 80 plus pounds of pressure just spraying in behind my stove above my 220 plug. Thankfully never touched the 220 plug, but did spray the back of the fridge. I had a lot of work to do to clean up. We figured out we'd have 15 minutes at 80 pounds of pressure, probably dump something around 100 gallons of water on the floor. Something in that 80 to 100. And every towel in the house, every mop, everything to clean this up. And I am now still doing the wash from last night to get that all cleaned up because, of course, everything, But my floor's never been cleaner. That's the upside. Underneath the fridge and the stove has now been properly cleaned again this year. So, But yeah, we had a good laugh. And then we found out my Tang's being a complete douche nugget. And he bit the intent. Oh, yeah.
Wait, a Tang is being an asshole? You don't say.
You guys want to see it? I'm pretty sure I can show it.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm trying to pull up your chat. I didn't get a notification. So I had to go search for you just so you know if nobody's coming in here. It's not because
that's not doing it. I really don't.
You know what? There's a checkbox because sometimes when I'm testing, I don't send out notifications. Yeah. Or if I'm just doing a small chat that I only want my 5 faves to join. I won't have it notify. So what I had to do was I just put Reefer Madness Reef Tank. That's how I find you. Because Reefer Madness obviously is going to be a million.
Yep, it is.
Million. Ooh, you got another subscriber. Congrats.
Yeah, I noticed that actually.
Cool. And then I have to click it from there. So
tell me when you're ready here, folks. I'll show this. This is why my Tang is coming out.
Bell on people. I bell everybody that I follow, that I give 2 shits about, and I give 3 shits about you, Craig, I put the bell on.
Thanks for 3 shits on me.
Yeah. I give a shit. I give 2 shits. I give 3. No, but because like I join your thing every day, I definitely want to get a notification at 8 o'clock every morning when I'm laying in bed.
Yeah. Oh, Craig's streaming. Time to get up and get coffee going.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah.
All right. So this is last night. My wife yells out, out of the blue. And this is what was going on in my tank. So you're going to see that's the shrimp. You already can see he's missing some of his antenna. Along comes Mr. Douche Tang. And this is what I hear the yell about. Oh, buffering.
Oh, there, he's coming. So your wife watched this, like she saw it happen?
Yeah, she watched it happen. So here we go. There we go. Did that play all the way for you guys?
I didn't see the very end, but
I'll try that again. Give me a sec here. Okay. Let's try that again. No, try that again. There we go. There we go. So let's see if it actually shows it for everybody here. Nope. It's just stalling up. What the hell?
God, it pauses right when he comes out. I like your rocks. That's very similar to the rocks that my tank came with.
Yeah, that's my actual growth.
Yeah.
Is the way that actually came out. So
the Coraline?
Yep. So there we go.
That's 2 months of Coraline.
That was probably 8 months or so that's happened.
Wow.
And that's red Coraline. So that's the aggressive stuff. Anybody see that pull? I know it was short. It's very short, but it's what it is. So
yeah.
There we go. Stop presenting.
So
there we go. So yeah, so that's why he's coming out of my tank. And I tried to catch him last night, but he's a little wily about coming up to the thing. So I put it up there, and I've been garlic coating the nori sheet to get him more interested in it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'll just at some point today, he's out in the sump and sell him off.
Do you see my studio lighting?
Oh yes, I do.
They're very well adjusted. They adjust too. Like you can go through, that, but they also, you can raise this up. I don't know if you can see it. You can raise it up.
Yep.
And put it at a 90-degree angle. So I could have it up and over me.
Nice.
So yeah, I really like them. And they weren't that expensive. And the thing I like about them most is you see down there on the floor how much space they take up. Yeah. So they're just long sticks, and then they go all the way to the ceiling. So
nice.
Yeah, but they're really, really easy to adjust. So they have like a wire. They're very modern. So this is the pain in the butt. They have this where is it? This wire right here. And I have to spin it around because the connector slides and the connector isn't as tight. And I tried to see if there was a tightening bolt or something, and there's not.
Nothing
like my
like
SpaceX
that.
patches.
That's
from I put them. I didn't put all of them in a frame, but I framed. This is starting from the first flight, and then the second flight, and then so I think this is 50, maybe a little less, 40, 45 of them or something. And then, so every time they do a flight, they send me a patch. So,
nice.
So I have one from even their refuel missions. And I don't know if you noticed, but my water has a refuel mission sticker. I don't know if you can, there we go. Has commercial resupply services.
That's funny.
Yeah.
For NASA, that is actually commercial resupply for the space station.
Yeah, so I carry this around and people think it's a fuel tank.
There you go. No, it's I'm actually I live in the country that is a robotics country because we built the Canada arm for the space for everything. So one on the space station, one on every shuttle. Yeah, we're the ones who invented that articulated arm.
So let me show you something that I figured out. So my salinity has been running higher. Like it's usually 024.
Okay.
But it's a lot of times when I test it, because of the evaporation, it's like 0.25 to even up to 0.28 or to 0.27 is the
Okay.
highest. And I was noticing I was having the issue with the bubble corals. I don't know if you can see that because of the laptop.
Yeah, he's a little pulled in.
Well, this is really out for them. So
Okay.
you see the little one, all of those have been pulled in for days. And then last night, I lowered my salinity to 0.023 from 0.25 to 0.23 because it was like, okay, by morning time with evaporation, it'll be higher.
Yeah.
That's what I'm dealing with. So I think I'm going to start lowering it to 2.223 at night. And by morning, it'll be 2.5. I need to figure out, I think I'm going to have to do an auto top off.
I would.
Because
If
yeah,
you
because
had the funds, go off to the store, go buy a Coral Box A100.
I can build an auto top off. I have before. Like
I know you can.
that technology I've actually, those sensors and everything,
Yep.
I've actually used because I built a guy who raised rabbits in California. His rabbits would just cook. So he needed a mister. And so I built him a mister. Also, I'm skimming. I don't know if you can see, I haven't cleaned that out since yesterday afternoon.
Very nice, looking good.
Yeah, so the only thing coming through it is foam, which is really good. I'm not getting any like water spray really anymore.
The reason I brought up the A100 to you is that you can put it in one of your back compartments, right? And basically that's where your return section, that part where the pump is where it's going to show first.
Yeah.
And it will actually do it, automatically you would build. But I mean, for $80,
that's nothing. Yeah, honestly, $80 is worth saving me 3 hours of time.
Right. And if you walk in, it's got the holder, it's got everything on it. It's the same one Tina uses. I use it on both my tanks.
Yeah.
And it makes it stable. What you don't want to do is up and down. Even if 2-3 sounds like a good idea, that means overnight the corals are actually suffering a little because the salinity is lower than they would like.
Yeah. But if it's 2-3 at night, it's usually like 2-5 in the morning. And I'm like, for a nano, I know that I'm trying to go like Zen, but I think an auto top off is going to be required because there's no unit 4 hours.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh, I went robot?
You went robot a little, but we got it.
Yeah, when I go back into my house, this is the sign on the door. I put it going into the house instead of into the shop. So.
Yeah, that works. No, what I would do, get yourself one of those. And the reason being is that, go to Walmart. They sell a 7-gallon water jug for camping. So it's potable water safe. Dump your RODI in it. It has, basically it has a cap, but it has then you can screw in the spigot. You can unscrew the spigot and all the wiring goes through the hole for that spigot so that it actually doesn't allow the water to go. You got it right. There you go.
I have 3 of these.
There you go.
And then I have actual buckets. I have enough container space that if I had to move my tank, I have enough gallons. And that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Like if I get a much larger tank, like hundreds of gallons, I'm going to have like the big units, like brute cans. Cool. I'm going to try to have at least enough on hand so that if I ever have an emergency and need to move fish or corals, I at least have enough space elsewhere.
Cool.
And then I'll show you how my RODI unit's really junky looking now, so don't judge me. But here's the 3. So I don't know if you see, I've got the clean water going to the red, the clean water to the blue on top.
Yep.
And then I've got the dirty water in the red, and that was actually in the tank. This thing, it was in here because I use it for my garden because it produces like 3 or 4x. And then I've got, I don't know if you can see my RODI unit. It's just literally, now you can see my home address on a package. It's not a big deal. You can Google my name and find my address in like a second. So
that's the way it works. No, you're good to go.
Yeah, especially after Hurricane Harvey because of all the posts I was making. So yeah, so I've got the RODI unit just kind of sitting on the side of the shop sink. And then, it's funny because this sink is here for my machining stuff, but it's being used for fish tank stuff. So
that's the way it goes.
And then I just put I don't know if you can see it, but just the whole thing is kind of there.
Cool.
So And I
Yep.
have to use natural soap now because I was using like the crazy pumice, gojo, things like that. I've been
Yep.
using, I used to use Purell
Oh,
all
yes.
the time up until I got a fish tank. Now, like in a pinch, I need to know that my hands are at the worst, just like plain soap, not crazy antibacterial shit.
Well,
So,
you know it's good you bring that up, and that's something that a lot of people don't actually think about. Is if you're putting Purell on your hands and you put your hands in your fish tank, you're actually killing your beneficial bacteria.
yep.
So
Yep.
just so you guys
So,
know, right? It's
Yep.
something some people just don't think about, right?
Yeah. So the other thing I do is I was getting my nails done for the longest time, like with the gel. They weren't acrylic. It wasn't like fake nails. But I was doing it because my hands look like shit all the time working in a machine shop. But now since I'm doing the tank, I wouldn't be surprised if chemicals could attach to the stuff on the nails, like in the whatever they call it, the gel stuff they put.
Even if you couldn't foresee it happening, the fact that it might happen for most reefers is enough to say you shouldn't do that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I had a multi-100-gallon unit, it wouldn't affect it as much. You know, that's another reason why I want a tank where I can put my arm in, like up to here, because I don't want my I don't want to be in a pinch and having to like stick my arm down in my tank and I'm like getting, deodorant all in my tank, especially with my little tank.
Yep. No, I can see that. Hey, Mike, how you doing today, son?
I might do a whole thing about skincare for reef tankers, like, not like. Yeah.
I think that's the furthest thing from our mind.
Vaseline the other day, I think yesterday, about like on components, like, or on hinges.
Yep.
That was one of the things I was going to say is, so I used to use hand lotion like crazy because I wash my hands 100 times a day, and then I put a dab of lotion on and do this just kind of to help with the dryness.
Yep.
And now I don't do that anymore. So now the thing that I was thinking is, in a pinch, if I had to put my hands in my tank, but I've got a tiny bit of Vaseline, whatever, like on the backs of my hands, it's not gonna dissolve in water that quickly. So
it shouldn't. It should actually skim out generally, but
exactly.
I try to make sure whatever I'm doing before I do any hand care creams, I'm done with the tank for the day, right? As best as possible that I can recall, so that I'm not sticking my hands back in the tank. Till you have an emergency, yeah.
And then that's why I have like I said, I think they're in there next to my tank. I have like I keep a bucket with the turkey baster. Oh, here's my frag rack. Have I shown you?
Nope.
I thought it would fit along the side of my tank because I don't like the look of a frag rack in a tank, unless it's a frag tank, because the ocean doesn't have frag racks. And
true enough.
It's magnetic, like most of them are.
Yep.
But then you can take it apart. It's got little plastic, like inserts. But it's 2 pieces of acrylic with a sheet of silicone. And then the thing I liked about them is that my turbo snails couldn't knock anything over.
No.
But I don't have turbo snails anymore. But the one dead turbo snail I found in my tank was upside down in one of these. So, sorry, my cat just walked over my foot. I thought it was a bug. Like paranoid.
No. Yeah. So Mike, speaking on the hand cream thing, Mike had upped his zinc levels because the lotion he was putting on his hands was getting in his tank.
Ooh.
So he was, what's the term I'm looking for here? Proof that putting hand cream on affects your tank, right? Yeah. Even if in the minorest of ways. That's not a word. But anyway, I'm making it a word.
Yeah, it's a word. You can make it a word.
I'll make it a word.
We know what you're saying.
Exactly. In the most minor of ways. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
And all the kids at Sesame Street.
Yeah. And the villagers rejoiced. Like, oh, Craig got it. He's special. Anyway, besides the point. So we got Mike hanging out in chat, as I'm sure he's driving and just having how's the weather today, Mike? Is it your standard crappy ass British weather, or you got sun and cold like we do? Hey, Big A.
Put your tank back up for presenting. It
Oh,
says,
my tank? Sure.
yeah, that's prettier.
Indeed. I can't wait. I'm going to do the water change before I finish up today. Raining again. Oh, no, you're losing a friend. Yeah. Jeff's in the house. How you doing, Jeff? Saltwater Jeff, I should add. There's quite a few Jeffs in this hobby for some reason. It's like every guy I ever met named Scott was a dick. So, anyway, I'll tell you that story some other day.
The most common name that I know, and this might just be the area that I live in, well, in California, is Michael. And I went through my cell phone one day, and a lot of these are like professional contacts.
Right.
And I have 17 Mikes or Michaels in my phone. So they all have to have their last name attached. 17.
Yep. 17.
Like 17. Yeah, that's a very common name.
Curtis seems to be a big name around where I am. Good. 50 and rainy. There you go. You deserve it, Jeff. Hope it sucks. Anyway, I don't know what it is here. I think it's 2 degrees here today. So give or take, that's 36. Yeah. But that's like summer. Like I say, Canadians, the minute it gets over 20 degrees Celsius, aka 70, we all start bitching and complaining. Michael is an awesome, amazing, and sexy name. Yeah. I am not going to disagree nor agree. I say no comment, but I just made one. So yeah, guys, I'm creeping up on a time I got to run. Question to the crowd at hand, since we don't have a large one. Do you want me to stop and I'll restart later, and possibly under my new format? Or do you want me to leave it up and I'll be back, give or take a half an hour? Now, I leave that to you guys because I personally like to be here and running it, but that makes it true. Okay, very, very, very good, sir. I'll stick by that statement. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Sorry, I didn't mean to snort at that, but it's hard to say that with a straight face.
What statement?
That Mike is a gentleman and a scholar. Yeah. He knows that's a lie. That's exactly. He knows that's a lie. So I do leave it to you guys in the chat and that are in here. If you want me to shut it down and come back later, I will. Or if you want me to leave it up, I can do that as well. It just, I will not be here for a few minutes. I can make sure that Jeeves has a wrench. He already does, and that he has the link.
Yep. And you can give me actually control of Hangout too.
I was just thinking that. So why don't I do that? Because nobody's really saying it any other way.
Yeah. I like that idea.
I mean, it's a place to hang out and talk. If it gets bad, I can boot people and shut down. And
you can give us a like trial period. Like we're 13-year-old girls going to the movies with their friends for the first time. We'll be good, Dad. I promise.
I mean, we've done it before. Nick's done it before.
Oh, have you guys ever used these?
There we go. You have control of the room, sir. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Oh yeah, world tag. What the heck you got there?
It's a RFID tag. So it's a world tag.
All right, post that link before you go.
I don't know if you guys have ever used these.
So I can make sure I have it. Let's see.
There we go.
Like if you tag 20 different. So the idea that I have is that I'm going to have a bunch of bins up on a thing, and I just run a scanner across, and then it beeps when it's to what I would need. But I'm going to have an Excel database that my husband's actually building that part because I hate Excel. That every bin, I know what's in the bin because of the database. And so as I scan across, I just run a wand across it and it beeps and I know exactly what components are in that bin. So.
Nice. That makes it easier. All right, folks, I'll be back. Like I said, I got to go get blood drawn. I won't be long. I'll see you in a bit.
Have fun. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
You can make me not presenting anymore. This is awkward.
All
We're gonna be unbagging chemicals today. Sodium silicate liquid.
right, you're not presenting.
Yep.
I'm
Okay,
presenting
cool.
Crit's tank.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
I'm sitting here paying bills and trying to figure out the right parts I need to order for the dang lawnmower.
I am just moving my torch today, my entire setup, and trying to organize some stuff out in my shop because I was moving things around to bring in a fish tank, and I just kind of have everything in chaos now. So,
Yeah.
but I wanted to listen in.
Yep. It's been an entertaining morning for me so far. Roast chicken dinner. Man, you got jerk pork yesterday, roast chicken tonight. That dog should have nothing to complain about. Michael, what ATO do you have? So how's everybody else's tanks doing today?
My tank is doing great. The only, like I mentioned earlier in the chat when I got in, I tested my water, like everything, for the first time in 10 days, which is, I had been testing every single day for a few weeks there, and everything was fine.
Michael, we need your loud mouth in here. Jump on in, have a chat.
What? Or if Nick or Cruz want to come in here.
Yeah. I know I can get Cruz talking about something.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought I talked a lot. And like I've chatted with him and he's like, if you get him talking about chemistry or something like that, he's, yeah.
I just don't have enough experience to go on and on about aquariums.
Well, I mean, you understand like the science, right? Like kind of what we're trying to achieve.
Yep, I understand the science. Like I said, I just don't have the tank experience to go on and on about whatever.
How big is your tank? I don't think you and I have really interacted a ton on like the tank talk.
I have a 95 or 75. It's about 95 of system volume.
Okay.
And then I have a 24 all-in-one. Yeah. It's a 75 tank with like a 25-ish gallon sump.
Okay. Your 24 all-in-one, what kind of, is it a Fluval?
It's a JBJ Nano Cube.
Okay. So I have a 24 all-in-one also, but it's a Fluval in 60. I thought that'd be kind of funny if we had the same tank. I'm happy with mine. It has a lot of space in the back that I can work with. So
good. Shall we talk about PUBG, Jeeves? No, it's Craig's chat, so I want to keep it aquarium related if I can.
he lets us go off topic quite a bit, as long as it's not. I mean, we don't talk about politics and religion, obviously, because those are like just not fun topics to talk about. But if it's what did he ask you about pub?
PUBG, Players Unknown Battlegrounds.
Oh,
One of the games I play.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, not much to say about it. Awesome
Yeah,
game.
I have not played that game. I don't want to say I took a break from gaming. I had so many other things going on. I do VR. I have a VR unit, but if I get another aquarium, my aquarium is going to be taking up a huge footprint in my VR room, which is also my recording studio, which is also my office. So I can only cram so much stuff in there. But
I honestly can't be bothered today in a lazy mood just chatting on Discord.
Yeah.
I can bug the hell out of you, so it's probably a good thing. That's what I was thinking. Shouldn't he be working?
He's driving, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a truck driver.
Yeah. Are truck drivers in the UK similar to how they are here in the US? Where a lot of times it's like you're an independent contractor in most cases.
Oh, I don't know about all that. Yeah, I actually do because I have asked about it. Yeah, sometimes you're a for hire driver, and then sometimes you drive for a company. That's what he said. He's done both.
Yeah.
Right now, he just got on with a company.
Yeah. I could see how that could be like nice. Like I have a friend who's a truck driver. The only thing he doesn't like is like his wife. I think they just had their second kid. I think she's pregnant with the third. But him having to be away like right after the baby was born, he said was kind of like he couldn't come home at the end of every night. That was the only thing that bugged him. So he would like sit in his rig and like talk to her for hours until she passed out. Yeah, but
yeah, I
like driving. I don't think I'd like driving a big rig just because I don't like the way other people drive on the freeway, and I know they tend to not.
If I had a big rig, I'd murder somebody.
Yeah.
What's up, DC?
Hi, DC.
I know I can get DC in here and talking.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't give me a link.
Hold on.
DC, there's one up a little higher.
Yeah, if you scroll up, it's up there. And then what you can do is take that link and then copy it to like a text or something, like a text file maybe. Or just keep it on your clipboard and don't copy anything else.
Yeah.
And then
I have it copied.
Yeah. God, I hate these stupid bits. When they ship me these are diamond bits. Oh, God damn it. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Oh, poopy
you guys are killing me. I'm sat there thinking, come on. I've got Annika there, the second most talkative person in the world after me. And you can't flipping get her to talk. It's like, what?
I'm trying to concentrate because I'm dropping bits all over myself.
So I had to jump in and stop the car crash. What's happening, DC? You're good? I was speaking to DC flipping all night last night. It was on Discord last night talking to DC, and he was telling me, when we go to Magna about this whole dressing up as a superhero thing. I thought it was a joke, but he's dead serious.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, I thought this was fun."
Seriously, I thought it was a joke, but now he's dead serious. So One of the days, probably Saturday, more than likely, flipping me, DC, and whoever else will be bouncing through flipping Magna dressed as Avengers or something.
Nice.
I thought about
So-
wearing like a wetsuit because it's
Are you going? Are you going?
yeah, in Vegas. Of course I am.
Yeah.
Unless something really important comes up because I don't know my schedule for that time of year yet. But yeah, I should be.
I think everybody should go because it's like it's going to be one of those shows. I think because obviously it's the 30th anniversary of Magna, so the show itself should be like next level.
Lit.
It's in Vegas, so no matter where you're from, you know what I mean. Even if you've been to Vegas before, it's still just one of those places that you know you're going to have a laugh, and you're going to have loads of people, fish people, that you might talk to on a daily basis, like on these type of things, but never actually meet them. You're going to be able to meet them for the first time and stuff like that. You know, in an area where you can literally just be yourself. You know, like me and DC are already talking about some of the stuff that we're going to do, like flipping, you know, riding dirt bikes through the desert dressed like flipping Avengers. going out at night and flipping necking the tequilas and that, you know what I mean? So it sounds like it's going to be like the show itself is probably going to be secondary to what everything else that we're going to be doing, but it sounds like it's going to be fun. But yeah, I think anybody that can go should go, because just meeting up is just going to be one of those like properly awesome fun times, you know what I mean? I can already picture that. Literally there'll just be tears in my eyes and flipping sore cheeks and flipping sore bellies for the full weekend just through laughing, you know what I mean? DC dead ass serious. Yeah, no way did I expect it. But yeah, and I've just been on Discord, to be honest, you know, like, because I like chatting to people and stuff, but sometimes I just like being able to chat but not have to worry about what I say, you know what I mean? Whereas because this is public and it's live, I've got to be very careful with the words I say and the things that I do and the actions that I take and blah blah blah. I can't be myself. Whereas Discord, I'm on Discord, it's private, you know, we can just all of us just on the Aaron's Aquarium Discord, just chit chat. You know what I mean? Talk about whatever. Talk about flipping fish and stuff and just be humans. So I've just been doing that. I hate this job. Just to let everybody know, I hate this job. Hate it.
You hate driving?
I hate this job. This one that I'm on. I do the same thing every day.
What?
This job that I do, I collect from this place every day.
Yeah, DC, actually I do. My name over there is my real name, Annika O'Brien. Yeah, a few people in the Reef community have added me. So if you go to add me, it might say we have friends in common. Like, I think Nick and Cruz are the first two that hit me up. So. Do you? How do you balance your sleep schedule in a truck? Like, you don't.
I don't honestly. I finished at midnight last night.
Yeah.
Went home. Had a bacon butter. Went to sleep. Woke up. Came back here.
Yeah, Vicky said you need to find something else. Find something that makes you happy, because I mean, I've tried porn, but like I thought it'd make me happy, but it's just as much work as this. Porn, yeah. It's not. I thought it'd make me happy, right? But it's really hard work. It is. It's really hard work. I knew people that were in that industry in Los Angeles.
When you're swinging around and you're ready to go and they're like, no, we've got to sort the light now. You know, it's like, come on, man.
You're like, no. I already popped off 3 times. I don't think I can do it again.
There's always ways.
Poor thing. I'm so sorry.
We would get on some kind of topic of conversation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael. I feel bad for you and your.
Hey, it's your own fault. You let me in.
Poor Michael.
You know,
Budget aquarium said open a
feel
shop.
sorry for all of those porn stars out there. You think it's all
Yeah.
glamorous and just beautiful people all the time, but you don't think about the in between scenes. You don't think about the times when you got to set up the new sets and stuff like that.
Poor baby.
If somebody's not
You
lighting my ass,
should
right?
start a
I'll kick off.
GoFundMe for all those poor innocent little porn stars that need therapy from all the stress.
Do you know what? To be honest, when you're in a certain position, if your ass isn't lit right, it's stressful.
Yeah, like it.
Craig, I'm sorry, mate. I'll stop. Just as a disclaimer, I've never done porn, obviously. Looking at this structure, you can probably guess that.
I don't know. They take all types. There's niches.
I will take that little jab / compliment, Annika. Thank you. They take all types, you ugly bastard. Sorry, Vicky.
Well, this is why I also wear earbuds, so that if I have kids run in at any given time, because my kids kind of have free reign, and once in a while they'll like pop in and start talking to me about something, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. They try to explain to me what's happening with Sarah and Duck, and like they watch the Netflix shows like Goldie and Bear and Sarah and Duck and all that. So I wear earbuds so that if you guys say anything, I'm not, hey, there's kids in here.
If. But you mean when?
When, yes, when, yeah. When you guys say something. I'm not a, hey, guys.
DC, the only problem there is Google AdSense won't monetize your porn site. Thought about it, but you can't monetize a porn site, so AdSense doesn't work. So,
yeah,
you can do it through Streamlabs though.
Yeah, there are other people that are starting to do. So I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but YouTube started banning firearms channels, like people who discuss firearms or anything on. Well, so what a lot of them are doing is they're going to Pornhub and they're putting their completely PG rated non-porn, talking about like handguns. They're putting that on a porn site because the porn site will host it for them. And I just thought that was kind of funny. Friends of mine tried to get me to put my stuff over there, and I'm like, I don't want my name associated with that site. Like, it's more that I'm like, yeah, I don't think that would benefit me at all in the long run.
I'm surprised Facebook censors some of that, but some of it's allowed. You see, if I do go to Pornhub and I see guys talking, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. So have you guys used this? That are the digital measuring spoons?
No.
I think it's pretty accurate. Like, I tested it. I have a scientific scale that's for measuring like grains of like fine metals and such. And I also have a carat scale for like diamonds and such. So I was comparing my high precision scales to these. These are actually like, these are good. I got this one. It wasn't that expensive. I got it on Amazon, but it's a set. You like push the button And you can weigh there. But
Mike got
anyway,
a phone call.
yeah. Anyway, but they're made for the for like measuring out like I don't know, magnesium or whatever for your aquarium.
Right.
I think they're also kitchen, supposed to be for cooking. So you've got that one, it just kind of plugs in. And then you've got a bigger one, and then you've got a larger that's, I think, holds it, you know. So if you guys measure out your stuff by weight as opposed to, you know, by like teaspoon, these are far more accurate, which I think the reason I got it is because I have a nano. I need to be a little more accurate than if I had a larger system. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that because it's fish tank related.
No, I mean, I've looked at them, but I just haven't bought one. If I buy one, I'll probably buy like a high precision, you know,
Yeah.
something like that kind of scale.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like a jeweler scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, well, yeah, I mean, I figure in a pinch, if I have this near my tank, that's why I compared it, and it's good. Yeah, it's for adding salt. You could use it for salt, like for your buckets, but I only do 4-gallon water change, and my 4-gallon water change is a 2 cup. I wouldn't want to be, because mine is a half cup per gallon. This would be a pain in the ass. Like I use the anhydrous salt, the Aqua Vitro, which is really good salt. It's just people don't like it because it's really expensive. Bye, DC.
Yeah, I want the little salinity one.
Yeah. The which one? Salinity?
Yeah, like the ice cap salinity probe. Or not probe, but measure. It's like a little cup. Yeah, you scoop the water in the little medicine cup attached on the end of this. Looks like a thermometer. The little digital stick thermometer. And it measures temperature and salinity.
Oh, cool. Can you leave it on the tank, or is it something that you're gonna want to take off?
No. You just use it. It's I say probe. It's not a probe. It's a measure.
Okay.
But it kind of looks like that. It's got a probe that sticks off.
Like, like the end of this?
Kind of, sort of. Except it sticks off in the cup, so it'll measure salinity. Saltwater Jeff, Red Sea Blue Bucket. I like the Fritz. I got a bucket of the Blue Bucket right now. I'm using on my 75. But on my Nano, I'm sticking with the Fritz.
Yeah. Four. Oh shit. Maybe a bigger torch tip.
Oh, budget. Don't say that. Somebody will see it and go do it. Who was it that was doing that? Or was using Epsom salt or something?
I heard about that. And it wasn't the individual, it was somebody else. They went and got natural seawater. They went and got natural. It wasn't the person speaking that did it. It was somebody they know.
Yeah, like their brother.
Yeah, exactly. Went and got seawater and put Epsom salts in it. And I assume they killed the entire tank, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, from my understanding of science, I don't think you could recover from that. that seems pretty. Oh, yay. I thought I needed to go buy a new torch tip, and I have the one I need.
Hey, you guys want to see the size of these pods I got?
Yes,
Sure.
actually.
Hold on, let me lock it on you. All right, go ahead, exclusive.
Oh, holy cow.
That's some big pods.
Yeah, wow.
Good Lord, those are the big, what, amphipods, right?
Yeah, I have no idea where I'm going to put this stuff.
Refugium.
Yeah, I was going to say, stick them in your fuge. They'll probably end up somehow managing to get into your main display, because that's what happens. Because I had some like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go, guys. I'll see you all later.
All right, later, Mike.
I'll be on I'll be on Discord anyway, so if you need me, all right, you want to chat.
On your Discord?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
See you soon.
Exclusive. Is that a candy necklace sitting on your table?
A what?
Candy necklace. It's funny.
It is.
I have a funny story about that. About a week and a half ago, my little one that's almost 3, I bought a candy necklace and I put it around her neck, and she didn't know it was made of candy. And she was wearing it for half the day. And all of a sudden she's like playing with it and she puts it in her mouth and her eyes light up and she realizes, oh my God, I can eat this. So she starts eating it and she's like trying to explain to my husband that like her necklace is edible. And we're like, yeah, we know it's a candy necklace. It was just funny because she wore it for the whole day having no idea it was made out of candy. So yeah, that's kind of a stupid story, but still it's.
Oh, yeah. Jeff, did you ever actually see anybody have problems with algae with the Fritz? Because I know my LFS runs it. That's what he runs in all his tanks. That's what he sells. And he hasn't had any problems, and I haven't had any problems. I did have algae problems on my 75 while I was running it, but it wasn't the salt. It was because the rocks were so bad.
Yeah. I need to buy like for Cheyenne and yeah, kid that's never seen a candy necklace in their life, just like buy them a necklace and put it on them, and like see how long it takes them before it ends up in their mouth, and then they realize it's made out of candy, and then they'll start sticking everything in their mouth. They'll think they're in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Yeah, saltwater Jeff, did those just come from your LFS or did you buy them online? So do you guys, real quick, when you get pods, yeah, Vicky, I thought it was pretty funny. I didn't expect that reaction. I just, your LFS, okay. So when you guys introduce pods, do you net them and then release them into your system, or do you dump the water? So everybody swears up and down I should never dump the water from my LFS to my tank.
These things are so freaking gross, man. I don't even want to touch them.
Yeah, they look like bugs.
Where did you get them from, exclusive?
I got them from Aquaria Depot.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like 1,000. I think I paid like $25 for them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. See, when I finally get some, I think I'm going to order from Algaeborne and do their, 5,500 pods or something like that.
I did. I actually got 10,000. I got 2 of those 5,500 pods.
Yeah.
And then I had the Fido. Did it for 2 weeks, and guess what? I can't even see one pod.
The small ones?
Yeah, really, really. I mean, like you could barely
that's cocoa pods. It looks like you got amphipods.
But this that I got is cocoa pods and the Amphro something pods?
Amphipods.
Amphipods, yeah.
Amphipods are the big one. Copepods are little bitty.
Well, I just put like a few in the tank and the fish went crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I tend to buy, somebody said you should never put anything wet in your tank. I tend to buy the what do you call them? It comes in a bag. not Fluke. I'm getting all the brands. I'm trying to remember the name of the brand, but they come in like a bag with a little spout up at the top corner, like a screw cap.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not Fritz. If I heard the name, I'd recognize it. But anyway, Tindy or something.
Tisbee pods.
Tisbee, that's it. Yeah, those are the ones I get, and I just dump the whole thing in. How should we be putting pods in our system if we're not supposed to put water in?
What I've seen is they make a sieve for them.
Oh, a pod sieve.
Yeah, it's a really, really fine.
So I
don't want to say mesh screen, but basically it looks like a plastic cup, and at the bottom is a screen.
Okay.
I just dump them in.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this one, which is really fine mesh, like pods couldn't get through it. It's almost like pantyhose. And then I've got my bigger one that's for actually like, getting out livestock. So I guess I could pour them in here and then swish it in the tank. But I don't think this will fit in my area where my Chaeto is very well. So
yeah.
I'd probably end up losing half the pods doing it. I think since I'm getting them from it's not really like somebody's tank water. It's not LFS water. It's like a company that, has regulations or whatever. I hope they have regulations, I think. Yeah, since it's like a company and it's in a package, it didn't just get scooped out of someone's tank. I trust it a little more.
Right. And that's just, that's the big deal with like Algae Barn is they supposedly all their stuff is clean sourced and
yeah. I mean, it probably is because they also have a reputation to uphold.
Bingo.
And if people are going online and posting that, that their tanks got sick after dumping everything in, it's going to make their whole business look bad. And, it seems like a lot of this hobby is really like word of mouth stuff. So
it definitely is.
Yeah. So if you're getting a lot of really negative feedback, that's not going to be good. Well, I mean, look at it, like even people, that's another reason why I'm not, like, even if I grew out my colonies, if my stuff grows and I have to actually frag it back, I'm going to be really careful when I frag, and I'm probably not going to sell. I'm probably going to trade or take the frags into my LFS. I'm also, I understand how living organisms are, and I know that like you could frag it and it could die. So I'm going to reintroduce it right back to the tank it was in, not put it in a hospital, clean it and everything with the Coral RX.
Yeah.
But I'll heal it. But I'm going to research how to cut each thing before I do it. And then I'm going to make sure that the tissue is growing before I take them into somebody. You don't want to introduce a newly, it's almost like getting surgery. I know that, corals aren't humans, but you don't want to get surgery and then all of a sudden, okay, now you're in a new environment and like everything's changed. You need to like keep it kind of stable. And then once it's stable and you notice, okay, it's healed and the tissue is actually growing, then I'll get rid of them. That's the other thing. I don't want to take 10 frags to my LFS for store credit and then they lose half of them and they're like, yeah, that chick has shit frags. Make sure that they're thriving in my own system. Cruz, duck up. A beautiful fish. Finger break. Oh, for fragging? Yeah. Does it depend on what you're fragging? Power outage. Sorry, especially in your industry.
Annika, do you have a wrench in his chat?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Can you go up, copy that link, and repost it just so it's at the bottom?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're talkative today. We have a lot of people. Okay, here we go. So that people can pop in?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the finger frog SPS. Yes, that's in fact the one. My acropora had a third. I found it under a rock. It came with my system, and it had like 3 legs. One of them was actually in the sand, so I broke it off with my finger. SPS, yeah. How would you frag an anemone? A bubble tip limb. I know, I'm kidding. Or I mean, like separating them. Would you rip it with your fingers, Cruz? Yeah, Craig is out for a few. He'll be back. We're trying to entertain, but I'm in my shop. Here's another sign. I don't know if you guys can see it. Says robot moves without warning, keep away. It's you actually need this for like when you're working with degrees of freedom, like 6 degrees of freedom, I should say, or up, like arms that move around, and people have no idea. They think they can walk up to it and push a button and be okay. They're like, I just died. They're in with a giant robot arm. Use rubber bands and string to create a pinching. Oh.
And then they'll split naturally.
Yeah. So like dental floss kind of. But how long do you keep it on? Okay, see you, Vicky. Oh, look, Cruz.
Yeah, Jeff. Sometimes if you nick them or if you cut them, I've heard some people actually cut them and they'll split, but you also risk killing it.
Yeah.
Just like a meat coral. What is that?
People cut meat corals?
Well, that's the thing is, because that's why they're so expensive, is because you can't frag them.
Yeah.
Do
they just have babies?
Yeah, they reproduce sexually.
So you need 2 meat corals, and one of them whips out his meat, and the other one has a baby?
You've never seen how corals reproduce on the reef?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I've never watched. Is there an area of Pornhub that you go to watch that?
No, documentary on Discovery.
Read Sex or Nova. I follow Nova, the Nova channel on YouTube. The underwater one, the marine, where they like find stuff they've never. Yeah, that natural feeling. They find stuff that like nobody's ever seen before in the ocean. That's always interesting because you get to see all these, PhD students that are like just excited because they just saw something in nature that they don't even know what it is. They're like, oh my God. And these are like people that have been studying this stuff for a decade, and they'll see an animal and they're like, we have no idea what this is. And that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they basically they at certain times of moonlight, and that's the only place that moonlight is important.
Yeah,
is it certain fish and.
So you say sexual versus asexual. So like my meat coral, I have a really pretty meat coral that I wouldn't mind having 3 or 4 of them. would that meat coral, if I did like the whole moonlight setting, could it produce on its own? Reproduce, I should say? Or does it need a second meat coral? Then they have to like.
No, they have to have 2 meat corals. But what they do is they basically release sperm and eggs as like a mist, kind of like snails. You see snails smoking to reproduce.
Yes.
Same
principle.
principle.
I see, like a stringy kind of thing.
Yep, same principle.
Okay. Oh, so they like seed out their stuff, their seed.
Yeah, on the reef, and then it combines, and they produce little spores everywhere, and they grow into more meat corals.
Wow, but you have to have 2 meat corals for that to happen?
Yeah.
How do you know if it's a male or a female?
I don't know. I haven't done that much research into it. I just know I was doing some reading about them because I'd love to get one, and I was wondering why they're so.
After or before or during? That's funny.
There you go, gametes and zygotes.
Gametes and zygotes.
Thank you, Cruz.
The skirt. On the meat coral? Or on the, you beat me to it. You guys are goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Cruz is, oh, that's a redirect link. Is that to get in?
No, that must be a link he's posting.
Is it is it going to be like Barry White playing in the background and 2 snails? Let's get it on. Oh, it is? Okay.
All
okay.
Right. There we go.
Hi, we're talking about sex.
Hey, I'm good.
We're talking about sex.
Sex?
Talking about meat corals reproducing.
How meat corals and snails reproduce.
You don't beat your meat. Just saw a fish bird.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. I had a good giggle about that with the wife. I think I told you about that, Nick. And then, like, seconds later, we saw a bubble sort of look like it came from the ass end of a fish. Couldn't stop laughing for an hour.
Yeah.
And fish farts. There you go. Cause of global warming. What's going on, Cruz? Hey, Nick. Hey, Al. Hey, everybody. I'm back from getting blood sucked out of me.
Do you do, so are you donating or is it just for tests?
Testing. A1. It's for my A1C, my 3-month.
Okay.
So they can go back and see how bad I've been with my sugar and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Wag their finger at me like a little child. And I go, yes, that's right. I'm bad. Guess what? Not changing. Yeah. All right. So we were talking about reproduction of corals.
Yeah, and I was talking about a measuring spoon set. I think it's for the kitchen. I started using this instead of using like tablespoons. It's fairly accurate. Like,
oh, that's a kitchen one, Annika?
I think it's for the kitchen. I mean, it says you can use it for the kitchen or you can use it for other things, but it's fairly accurate.
Because they make an aquarium one. That's why I asked that.
Yeah, but the kitchen one's cheaper.
Yeah.
And it is accurate. I mean, it's for tracking your macros for like if you're on the type of diet where you need to keep track of like every little what type of calorie is coming from where. You know, that's what like people that are on really strict diets.
I keep track of that by going, I'm eating that. I'm not eating that. That's kind of how I do it.
Oh, that smells good.
Yeah, trying to anyway. I am a horrible diabetic.
Aww, you have to get healthy.
Nope, Mike.
He wore his tuxedo today.
Yeah, my we call our female cat Jazzy.
Yeah,
right. And because she's saucy. She is a mouthy, saucy cat, and she's got boots on the back and mittens on the front. So she has white legs up to the joint and little white mittens. And everyone's like, oh, and she has white eyeliner around her eyes, which is really odd to see on cats. Usually they're all one color. So she's all this pretty, and then the kids come over and then whack, 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 whack. And no longer is that cat pretty. It's just an asshole. I was like, we warned you. Go pick up Jenks. Did you just call him Cree?
Yeah, intentionally. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife saw Cruz's name and she thought it was Cruz Azarius. And that's a name in WoW is Azarius. She goes, wow, he's named after WoW. And I started laughing. And my wife's like, what? It's Arius or Arius. I said, whatever way you is it. There's no Z there.
Azarius.
I saw a Z. I said, that's because his first name is Cruz.
Yeah. Every time I see that Duricati or
Dureticate?
Dureticate. Okay. I always think it's Ducati. Like
the bike? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how Cruz, you're named after a verb. I don't know what you and your husband are doing, but we're not showing it on video.
Hammers. Need to find a place. Yeah. You ended my presentation. I know how to get you to end my presentation. Just pull up my hammers. Yeah. I've also got bungee cords in here. It's I need to I haven't been able to use my torch because the gas tank I needed to bungee cord it to the leg of my bench, and I didn't want to be pulling on the hose until it was stabilized. Yes, I didn't want to pull on you know what I mean. I didn't want to be like tugging the
wrong phrasing.
Yeah, she's just all over the phrasing, folks. Today we're gonna get cut.
I didn't want to use my torch until I could properly strap it down, because if it knocks over and the top pops off, I'm gonna have like acetylene gas, or actually that one's propane accessories. I'm gonna have it all over my shop, and I'm probably gonna be on fire because I'm also gonna have a torch going. So that would be very bad.
You know what's funny? I had a guy get all insulted, wanted to show his tank off and have me do a video on it. I went over and looked at his tank. This is a couple of weeks ago. I didn't really mention it because I'm not out there. I would never name this person, but his tank. I said, I can't put your tank up on film, right? And he's like, why not? I said, because it's basically a coral snuff film. Everything in your tank is dying. Every last thing is dying. Right? And he's like, no, it isn't. I went, dude, I'm not going to prove it to you because you'll be extremely upset when I prove it to you. I said, but tell you what, later on, wave your hand in front of your euphyllias for me and tell me if any of the heads bail out. Right? And he's like, whoa, and I left, and he messaged me later and he goes, what the hell's going on in my tank? I said, only you know. You got to know what you're doing for water changes, and you got to know what you're doing. And that's just it. He wasn't testing whatsoever. So he tested. His nitrates were 200. Oh, well, they were off the chart.
Wow.
And he had a buddy that.
Long period of time?
Oh, I'm guessing. Yeah. I didn't get into it with him. I'm not out to downplay anyone. But I'll downplay the situation, right? Like, I'm not out to do that to him, right? But it was just like, wow, dude, epically bad here. He's like, what do I do? And I went, let it die. You're not going to recover it. You can try. I said, but every one of those euphyllias, if you move them, are probably going to bail out.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So
back to earlier, see, that's the only way that people have ever successfully, in an aquarium, to some degree, respawn meat corals. Is put them in the shade until the polyp bails out.
Yep.
And move it back out in the light, and it'll bail out, spawn a new one, and the other one will regrow.
Yep. Yeah. Same with fungia plates. When they die, don't move them till they start to like fully encrust with algae or whatever the case may be, because then if you look underneath them, that's generally when you find little baby fungias. Yeah. So never give up. I mean, there's always a chance it's going to bounce back, but fix the issue that led to the death.
Yeah.
So. All right, Jeff, you taking off? See you later.
These are my straps.
Cool.
Bungee cords. I don't like metal, like I said, because I don't like rust. So I went ahead and got these ones.
As long as they're strong enough, who cares what they're made
of? They're called fat straps. They're very tough.
Yeah, I don't throw anything out of the tank when it happens, Cruz. I did when I got mad at that big purple and orange octo spawn, or frog spawn, sorry. I was so pissed. 12 heads, man. Average price $40 to $50 a head. Right? That was a huge loss.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
And I know what happened, and I know it was my fault. And can I email you the link? I can. So they say I can anyway. I have the technology. Let's see here, Nick. So my goal is now to get a hold of that idiot of mine that comes over and helps me out with technology, because he's already doing it, so it's easier to have someone here that's doing it. And I got to go open that. Jeez, I'm all lost. I'm all befuddled. They didn't take that much blood, though. So.
Yeah.
Well, 8 vials, but, you know, that's not a lot. There we go. All right, that's sent. Nick should get it shortly. And we'll bring this back up. So who we got in
Nick's
chat
gonna
here?
come in and talk about like science.
Yeah, sure he is.
Yeah.
He's a bell end. No
Aww.
Tom today. I'm sure he's making his wife happy. Hopefully Tom is.
What? Raising.
Raising, yeah.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Tom's a
did
sweet.
that about 9 months ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tom's a sweet. He's probably not very good at making his wife happy. I'm just kidding.
Raising. But that's all right.
That was intentional.
Oh, me and him have a similar thing going on, so I understand where he's coming from. I said, you still got to try, man.
Oh wait, is his wife? Is he gonna have a baby?
No, his wife is working. He's not.
Oh, okay. I thought when somebody said 9 months, I thought they meant that he.
Oh, we're not talking about whoever's about to have a kid.
No, that would be.
Tom is the sweet. My fish journey, my saltwater. Sorry,
fish. Yeah, my saltwater journey.
Yes, my saltwater journey.
Oh, cool! They took out the garbage, so my 29-gallon broken tank is finally gone. Yay! And the villagers rejoice.
So, what do you mean by broken?
The seal. I thought I could reseal it. When I was looking at it, well, that's a mighty big chip. And then I felt on the inside of the tank and past where the silicone is, the chip had gone that far. So that's a huge weak point, right? Like, that's not a little weak point. That's a big weak point, right? So I said,
and wait, it was 29 gallon, you said?
It was a 29-gallon long.
Okay.
Yeah. So 36 by 12 by 16 or whatever. So, which would have been a great sump, but sumps get abused more than tanks, and I wasn't doing anything with something like that and having to break out and leak. I mean, we already know water all over your floor sucks balls, so.
Yep.
So
it does what?
It sucks balls, sir. Sucks balls.
But not in a good way.
Not in a good, fun way.
Every time I hear people say sucks balls, I'm like, isn't that like good?
I'm guessing that depends on your point of view. Yeah. Yeah. Now I just want to do an Archer. Woo! Right? Anyway.
What's up, Raven?
Yeah, Raven's in the house.
Hi. God, I love the smell of this hand soap too. It's like verbena. The hand soap I switched to, that's reef tank safe. That's not antibacterial and all that. Well, it's not antibacterial. But it's just soap. But it smells really good. I'm probably gonna find out that whatever's in it, lemon verbena or some crap, is it doesn't have lemon, it has verbena. But I'm probably gonna find out that isn't good for tanks.
Absolutely. So there we are. The day is only partially over. We're still rather early, I might add. It's only 1:30 here where I am. We were talking about meat coral sex, which is wow, that's something to lock in on.
It started off, we were talking about copepods and amphipods, and Exclusive brought in this bag of enormous, they look like ladybugs.
Massive amphipods.
Yeah. And he was showing them to us. The Jergens cherry vanilla.
Okay.
Too bad they might be all dead in 2-3 days.
Yeah, sometimes they are. I usually find the bigger ones survive longer, X.
Yeah, but I didn't get any Fido, so I can't feed them.
They'll eat detritus and stuff.
Yeah, they'll survive. Yep.
That's why they put them in your sump, because they'll survive and reproduce.
That's what I'm hoping.
That's the plan, right? You know.
Yeah.
And I got another like 5,000 coming. It's like 64 ounces. I'm gonna try tipsy pods.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to reproduce them. So I'm gonna try to go.
Yeah. That's the kind I get. They're for one small bag, not a huge one, it's like $17-18, which I mean I know in the grand scheme of things that's not a lot of money, but it just seems like if you're having to buy those every 3 to 4 months, that seems like a lot.
Oh, if you're trying to feed a mandarin, you're talking every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are you breeding them or are you just buying them? And
I'm just buying them. I don't have the tank space to breed. So one other question I was going to ask about them specifically.
You just need a bottle.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Bottle and put an air stone in, and you strain them out and leave the phyto. You know what I mean? And you leave a certain amount in. They will keep breeding, right? You can actually get months out of a bottle if you work it right.
Cool.
I'm supposed to get somebody to come and talk about that soon. I'm still waiting.
I'm going to kill him. I really am. Like, Jack is the most hard to get a hold of son of a bitch on the planet. But when I get him in here, you know, that's what he does. That's his little side business.
Awesome.
So he can talk about it and talk about his cultures. And like he said, he doesn't want to do it from where he's doing it. There is some proprietary stuff he's doing. So he'll be open to a degree. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely talking about life cycles. You know, he may or may not talk about where he's getting, you know, his cultures from. But he does something called a mandarin mix, which is a mix of tips, ticker pods, and something else, and he calls it his mandarin mix. Right? So. And then, of course, he's got the ticker pods, which if you watch that video, you can see the mass amount of them in this culture that he's got and whatnot. So, but so there we go. That's an interesting topic in and of itself, is the microfauna of our tanks. That's just amazing.
Well, that's what I'm going to have to really get into if I'm going to do the by self-sustaining. I mean, you know, the no water change thing. At least for long periods of time, like not need to water change for 6 months at a time and have everything flourish. And that a lot of it's going to be me focusing on my microfauna and focusing on, you know, I'd like to get my tank so it's producing its own phytoplankton, which something Nick, to credit Nick, he said that he actually knows someone that they look at the tank. They were looking at the tank from the side, I guess where it had more depth, and it wasn't crystal clear. And he had explained that his tank produces its own phyto, which I think is pretty cool. And then the other with what I was going to ask about is the pods in the back. Should they be on a light cycle? Because I keep mine with my Chaeto, and it's not like I'm keeping the lights on all the time. Is that a bad idea?
Yeah, no, you should have it on a reverse cycle. Just
okay for the Chaeto.
Yeah, unless you're trying to counteract something that's going on in the tank.
Okay.
Right, which is where I'm going here shortly. I'm
trying to get that area to flourish with algae.
Yeah. Well, you gotta explain, Annika. Do you know what they mean? Why they put it on the reverse cycle?
Yes, I understand the science behind it. If that's what you're like, I understand that. Yeah, you're getting everything to grow back there.
No.
Right.
No. It's to counteract pH drops at night.
Oh. Okay.
Right? So you're doing it for that, and it's
why would 24-hour be bad then?
It will over time, because you'll usually burn out the photosynthetic power of the Chaeto.
Okay.
Right, the Chaeto needs to degas a few hours a day.
At least.
Right. That's why I interjected, because it just sounded like you were thinking the Cheeto needed to be
24.
reversed. Yeah, where it's not that reason we do it. It's because of the other things that are associated with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my coffee is ready. Ooh, dark.
Nice.
Ooh, I'm telling you.
Coffee.
Oh, that's my fuel, man. You ever heard Heavy Fuel by Dire Straits? That's what plays in my head when I get coffee. Right? You know what I mean? You got to run on heavy fuel, son.
Oh, I got a challenge for Cruz. Is he still in the chat?
He's still there. Yeah, he was just talking about Jergens Cherry Vanilla. But okay. Yeah.
I got a challenge for Cruz, so I've been missing them, but I noticed that Cruz has started doing the drive to work live streams.
He has.
Like live. So what I think would be cool is, and I'll do this as well, like when he's in the car driving to work, he has to have a soundtrack on and he has to be singing the soundtrack.
Well, that'll get flagged, but yeah, you can do it.
So I'm going to do the same.
Car karaoke.
Car karaoke.
Yeah, car karaoke.
Yeah, karaoke.
Yeah, except without that annoying James Corden who needs a smack in the goddamn face.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well,
he's funny.
He's funny, and he seems like, I don't know. I feel like he's fake.
No, he's genuinely funny.
You know what would be funny is
that's British humor.
For me, yeah, and that's just it. But what I want to hear is, all of a sudden me coming around the corner going, "You fat British son of a bitch," and then hear me beating on him, and then hear all of a sudden, "He's biting me! He's biting me!" Yeah,
Fat British people are some of the funniest stuff. I mean, look at some of the best British comedians. They're at least a little portly.
A little, yeah. Same
That's only because they eat well off their riches.
Yeah, exactly. They eat. Yeah, they have the money to
buy good food.
Yeah.
If you watch, there's a video on YouTube though that if you watch it, he got pranked, and he turned up to the studio, and the guy at the gatehouse wouldn't let him in, and he was asking who he was and stuff like that, and he was getting pranked, and that was really funny.
And he was
asking for his ID, and his name and his face were like plastered across the whole building. And he's like, "Look, that's me, funny. That's me." And he's like, "I'm sorry, I need ID." It's just funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And he says, "I'm going to be late." He goes, "Oh, it's okay. So let me get this straight. You're going to be late for your late show." And he was just getting so wound up. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I love my Midas Splinty. I want to name him after you, Nick. I'm going to name him Nick. Nick.
Is he coming out and being all characterful now? No, he's
Yeah, he's so cute. And he has I know it sounds stupid to be like, a fish has so much personality. But he's got the face, so he looks like a Lorax kind of, or whatever.
Aha.
And then
I'm actually playing with my other camera.
He was swimming back and forth in front of the glass last night when he didn't think anybody was watching.
Right.
He's so pretty. He from one end to the other. He's kind of two-tone, but like a gradient, like an ombre. So he's bright. He's like the yellow gold in the back, and then kind of going towards the front, he's darker.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Did he? Is he doing the job though? Is he scuttling around the rock and pulling up the crap that's settled there?
Yeah, he hasn't actually moved a lot of things yet. I haven't seen him do that. But I think when he knows I'm near, he because anytime I come over to feed anything, he hides. So. Yeah. And also now that I'm only feeding one every 3 days, I think that's also helping with my parameters. I'm not having to worry about ammonia or nitrates or anything. Versus feeding, I was feeding every day, and I think I was like, I don't want my fish to die. Now I realize that they eat much better when I only feed them every 3 days.
Well, just watch the fish. If they start looking skinny and
famished or something,
then just give them more. But they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
If it was Anthias, it'd be a different story. I'd say no, you need to feed them several times.
Yeah, Anthias are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you have to feed them several times a day?
Just the way that.
Monica, you were talking about setups. So above that, right? So, my coral food stays up over here, so I remembered to do it. That Chinese lamp is older than I am. And it's actually koi fish that's been around in there under the heat. And my wife seahorses. My light's actually housed in this cabinet.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll focus up or not. There we go.
Okay.
Right?
I see it. Yeah, you said it was just one of those cheap Chinese ones, and then you just kind of put it in a
right, so that it's actually under here.
You built your
and
own
to brighten
canopy.
the corners, I'm actually going to take the lenses off these two and those two, and that'll brighten those corners out a bit. And that's that donut coral, and you can see the suffer that you spin.
Let me see.
Focus.
And
so that
I see him now.
He peeled up. But if you look from this side, he's actually doing all right.
Or is it one big head? Okay, it just curves up.
Like there's no way to give you economy of scale, but he's probably 2 inches across, maybe.
Yeah, he's really pretty.
That plate, that's the wife's.
Yeah.
He just loves that striation on that, and the tips are purple as well. So
yeah, I'll get a plate coral eventually. I want to I'm kind of still. I don't, like I said, I don't want to overstock my tank, and I know that a plate's going to take up a lot of space on the floor. Right. But now that I don't have snails, I saw your video where you were wearing that. That's cool.
Yeah, so, you got to do the.
Yeah.
That's what you got to drink your coffee in, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's my 20. And you wanted to see the view. I know you said you saw it, but that's the size of my tank in my living room, right?
It looks nice.
All right. So I don't know how clean it is.
Real quickly, along the back of it.
That's where my wife sits when she's working.
Okay, cool.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's chasing my fish. You dick. You're coming out today, you bastard.
So the back of your tank, do you have stuff growing on it like GSP or what? Or is that just the spots from the...
That's Coraline. That's all Coraline on there now.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. It looks good.
But now I got to compete with the back crack.
Yeah. Are you going to bubble? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Here.
Oh, I bubble. But I'm probably going to do some reverse lighting. Yeah.
Okay.
So
so that stuff hasn't been lifted by bubbling?
Yeah. Not necessarily. Some of it gets broken up.
Yeah.
But it's not doing the job on its own.
Because it's heavy.
Turn my cruise lights on a little longer.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is because mine isn't that bad, or I don't have that much. But what I'm going to do is as I'm bubbling, I'm gonna mix up like a small Cruz and I were talking about it, like doing a quarter at a time. So I'm going to take a section of the tank and I'm going to kind of mix while I'm bubbling. I'm going to kind of mix up the sand and let everything end up in the filter flask.
Killed my cleaner shrimp, you bastard. Yeah.
Craig, do you think bubbling is just like the best? It's like when you're not bubbling, it's like you miss bubbling. Do you know what I mean? It's like I just need to bubble.
Yeah,
it's almost an addiction. I got to turn it on now.
It's like I just love to bubble. I feel sorry for people that can't bubble.
Everyone talking about that American DJ. Look how easy it is for me to bubble.
Oh, I love it. In fact,
stop it! I'm like a crackhead. And you're sitting here smoking crack on camera. No, stop it! Nick,
hang on.
Nick's harassing me. He's bullying me. Can you please kick him? I'd like to file a report. Yeah. Nick is microaggressive.
Everybody's bubbling. Except Annika. She hasn't got the bubbler yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Friday it'll show up. And then unbox it super fast.
What's that, Annika? Oh, that's my air pump bubbling.
I'm being harassed.
That's the sound of a Tom's aqualifter.
This is why you don't have a wrench, Nick. I'm gonna put you in a 300-second timeout. Here we go.
Air efficiency at its best.
Yeah. So the other benefit, Craig, I'm assuming that you know this, but with the bubbling, I know some people just bubble because they notice a difference, but I don't know if they understand like all the science. One of the other reasons I wanted. Okay. Well, I mean, some people just are like, oh, this works. I don't need to understand the chemistry behind it. But
if they can.
One of the things that I'm interested in is reducing my CO2 in my tank so that to prevent the algae in the display. Now, I do know that that's going to end up through the entire system. However, I think that it's not going to hurt my tank to remove a lot of that algae. I mostly want to just get it out of the main display.
Yeah, but you got to at the same time balance because the algae is there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So it's doing a job, so you got to replace the job that it's doing.
Yeah.
Either by using bacteria.
You guys hear that? It's like sounds like somebody's doing construction. Can you guys hear that?
That's my aqualifter pump.
Jerk.
No, you have to replace your algae. It's no good just getting rid of the algae. It's like if you hydrogen peroxide the algae and you don't put anything in its place, it'll just grow back.
Hold on. Let me find out what's going on.
I saw. Did you see Rototube, Craig?
Are you vacuuming? I think it's
It's Craig AFK.
I am here. No, I'm here.
Okay.
What's up? Sorry.
Did you see Rototube? He's just peroxide his algae.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you watch the whole thing?
No, I just watched.
I got to get in and watch the whole
peroxiding.
thing. I don't want to make an opinion on it until I know exactly what he did. But just on a cursory, and yeah, with 35%.
With 35% or
3%? 35% food grade peroxide, which would have been super bad, to be honest. You can spot, and you can do a lot of spot with 3%. But if you don't water down 35%, you're
oh man,
his redox point's probably lethal.
I emailed him, so I hope he's gonna get back to me. So I contribute to his channel and stuff. I'm on his website as a contributor, so I'm hoping he'll. I said, "Hey, come on, look, let me help you out."
Yeah, because he's overdoing it. He's coming at it from so many fronts at once, and it's like, you've already given yourself an infection, which tells me your water's full of protozoan, which our water generally is. Mm-hmm. But his seems excessively dirty. He wasn't using DI resin on his water for the last 3 years. He's like, well, it's only 3 TDS. Yeah, but you don't know what's in that TDS. It could be silicates. It could be something that's making it that you're never going to win this fight because it's just feeding it. So now he's doing that, which is good. But now you're in this large water change, moving on to, he added enough, Mr. Williams, to say it's lethal levels of it. We're talking probably 60, 70 plus mils, which is, what's he got, 100-gallon tank? That's, 1 mil per 10 gallons, folks. That's the general rule of thumb. So if
that's 3.5, right? Not 35.
Sorry?
Right? I said, isn't that if it's 3.5, you do 1 mil per 10?
Yeah, exactly. So if him running,
and he did 35%,
you'd got to.
So it'd be 1 mil per 100.
1 mil per 100 gallons. Yeah, which would be
and how
safe.
many mils did he put in?
Somewhere closer, like 3 full syringes at 20 mils a syringe.
And his tank, have all of his euphilia melted?
Don't know yet. We'll find out.
Oh God, that's so sad.
I don't want him to go through this, and I don't want him. And that's where me and Mike had talked about it before. Don't ever think I talk about peroxide on a loose, cannon kind of thing.
Right.
I know how to use it because I unfortunately have had to battle algae, like everybody else. And it's more, you got to think of peroxide as the lawnmower, not the cure. So once you've kind of got what is causing that algae under control, and it's no longer growing, but you're just not getting rid of it because it's still there soaking up things to keep it from actually dying off on you, then you can mow it down and then keep at what you're doing. And, you got to add a little extra. You got to make sure you're skimming correctly and that you're getting everything out. It was food grade, 35%.
God.
Just have to see.
I learned my lesson with peroxide.
Might be fine. Might be perfectly fine in there, right? But, when you're that angry, don't reef angry.
Yep.
What do you want?
Hey, you guys want to see my Blinny? I'm going to raise the laptop camera up. And you'll see his head is poking through. There's a giant rock right behind my meat coral.
Oh, yes.
So see, he is poking his head out. Watch.
Come on.
But once he sees something, he sort of, I don't know if you can see him. I may need to turn on white light. Can you see him?
Don't worry about turning it on.
Just on the bottom
there
left.
he is. Yep, I saw him. Yeah.
Yep.
He's being a bunny.
Yeah, he hangs out there the majority of the time. Well, sorry. I'm sitting right next to a door, and in any moment someone could walk through it. So I don't want to be I don't want to get run. I locked it, but he can unlock it in a second. So, okay, there. I'm paranoid I'm going to get run over.
Yeah, the minute you think that my wife is more aggravated by me to doing this, my female cat comes in here and just gets bent right out of shape that I'm not taking a nap or doing something for her to snuggle with me, right? And she just, that's my glass. I'm drinking out of that currently. Thank you for marking it. Oh, it's a weird cat. Yeah, watch the video and just see what I just haven't gotten around to it. I keep meaning to. And I just want to see what he did. But I know he was using 35% food grade. So.
Right. I hope it all works out. I mean, I know that's a stretch, but.
Well, and like I said, I don't know exactly how many syringes he did, but if he overdid it, it has nothing may come of it. It depends on what's sensitive to the redox, right? Because what he's doing is reducing the amount of oxygen uptake the tank can actually take, because you're just, it's like bubbling. When you listen to Cruz talk about it, you know what I mean? When you actually see what can happen if you go too far one way, it's like anything else in this hobby. If you go too far one way, it will actually start to give you fits, because you're not going to realize you're doing something wrong because you think you're doing something right. Yeah. And now here you are with this whole other problem, or, a massive die off of fish, or usually it's inverts that show that shit first. And oh man, I want to kill that tang. Sorry guys, I'm obsessed with getting that tang out of my tank.
You got rid of your tang?
The blue tang ate my, I'm pretty sure he ate my cleaner shrimp. He was biting at him. I got video of it last night.
Right.
And my wife will not, even if, and he's biting at other fish, he's just being a nurse. For lack of a better term. Yeah, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm officially a tang hater.
I'm creating a new revolution.
Well, it's like my wife said. She goes, "Why? He's so pretty. Why?" And I said, "Because he's a tang, right?"
Yep. And people can be attractive and also dicks.
Oh, Ted Bundy wasn't an ugly guy, Personality doesn't necessarily equate to nice person, right? So
exactly.
Look at me.
No,
I'm the nicest.
You said it. We didn't.
And I've got a shovel face.
I got a shovel face. Yes, you're the most unattractive person in this stream. No, you're not. That's me. Thank you.
No. I'm pretty on the inside.
That's what counts. So they say, anyway. Go ahead.
My 6-line wrasse is killing all my snails.
Good luck.
That's why I hate 6 lines.
That's why we don't like 6 lines. Yeah.
Unless you don't like snails.
Nice pastel green. Get a nice pastel green.
Yeah.
Are they more docile?
It's really nice fish, but I put like 45 snails in there, and I think about like 10 to 12 already dead. Because he nipped them.
Have you actually seen him doing it, or are you assuming he's doing it? You have seen him do it? Yeah, so.
I try to whack him with a stick, but I can't catch him.
I'll tell you, that doesn't work. People have physically seen me hit my clowns in that 20-gallon tank. And, man, it's just, for them, it's just fucking on. They don't care. Now it was a sport. Now it's a fight. You know what I mean? So
it's like the shark hovering over people. You know what I mean? He's just there. Every time he sees an opportunity, boom, he goes in and nips on them. And it don't matter the size. It could be like, because I got some pretty big margarita snails, and they're pretty big. They're and he don't care. He'll go and nip on them.
Yeah, I've seen I have seen a 6-line wrasse take on a full-grown Achilles tang and win.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter the size of the fish; it's their attitude, really. In all honesty, and the attitude of what they're picking on, right? So a snail's only defense is, "Oh crap," that's it. That's all they've got. You know what I mean? A full-grown tang should be taking that guy, putting him into a corner, and slicing his throat, Colombian style, right?
Exactly.
But unfortunately, a lot of tangs are very passive, so they end up just getting stressed and abused, right?
Hey, Annika, when you start to bubble, this is what you're looking for.
Let me see.
And I should ask K-Reef. K-Reef, are you a new dad yet?
So just a really light fog. You see it's fogging?
Yeah, like a mist, kind of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like a fog. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought it would look like.
So you go close, you can see them a bit better, but when you stand like a foot or so away, you shouldn't really be able to see them.
Yeah. I'm going to use my my brew spoon to mess with the sand a little bit too while I'm doing it.
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
I could do it for 4 days.
Hey, Craig, when are you going to be streaming the next few days?
Off and on. I haven't really made a decision because I know tonight is dev stream, shortly actually.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right, so I'm going to kick out probably around before 3, so that I'm not tromping on his shoes, so to speak, just out of politeness, not because I have to. You know what I mean? But it just makes sense that I'm with these guys, right? Same with and then probably mostly in the mornings. It'll probably be, you know what I mean? What were you thinking there, Nick?
What I gotta do? I'm gonna stick my camera up because you can see my unit. I've got 2 weeks to get all this out and stripped and prepped. So I'm going to start work on shop fin. So I'm going to do all of this. Good. All this mess is going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
are you going to do it like the picture you sent me?
Yeah. So all these.
Was that your actual
panels,
house or was that just similar? The picture you sent me?
No, that was like the same construction as this building.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. So all these fittings are coming out.
Yeah.
All these walls are going to be painted dark gray.
Yeah.
All these bits of wood are going to be paneled, cladded, and all these. You see this corrugation.
Yeah.
That's all going to be painted dark gray. And then what I'm going to do with all these metal trusses, I'm going to paint them the same as this, like burnt orange.
Yeah.
To highlight them up.
Like ochre, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all this stuff is going. All the corridor is being ripped out.
And this is where your systems are going to be all set up, right?
Yeah. So
do you work in the same place, or do you have? Well, some people do. Some people do that. Like that's what I do. I mean, I have another studio that's away from home, but it's like 3 minutes away.
See, this guy just like dumped this on me.
Yeah, because I need my studio. So when I need to have a workshop here. But if I'm meeting with clients, I don't bring them to my house. I meet them at my studio, which is clean and fancy, and I'll show you guys my studio sometime.
That's what this needs to be. So this needs to be somewhere I can bring people.
Cruz was asking a question, Annika. That thing you're rubbing on your temple, is that a massager, or you just got a? Nope. You were holding it a second ago.
Oh, this is my AirPods. It's just got a. I get excruciating migraines. I don't think and to the point where I'm going to get brain surgery for them. That's how bad they are.
There you
go. And they were doing Botox, but it's not like, it's like I can still move my face. It's not like cosmetic Botox. It's medical for people that get migraines, and that works really well. But I don't want the next 40 years of my life to need to be getting like Botox every 3 or 4 months. They put it in the back of my neck. So the muscle right here, I don't know if you noticed some of my older like podcast videos, I like have this weird, it almost looks like a twitch. Or like I move my neck weird. It's because it always fucking hurts. Yeah. So I go to a chiropractor and I get adjusted once a week and that helps. But I just it's a musculoskeletal, it's like the opposite of atrophy, where it tightens up. And I never had it until I had spinal meningitis. I got, it was a TBI. I got epilepsy. And ever since then, I had got my jaw broken. So I was having issues with on this side, I was having problems. But now it's just both sides hurt all the time. So to prevent having to be on pain pills and having to take drugs that make me unable to function in the real world. They make me so that I'm not in pain, and but I'm probably just going to get surgery because I don't want to be drugged up for the next 50 years. So, it's people have dealt with worse. So anyway, what I was saying is, so a lot of times I like when I get, because this sides of my eyes get really tense.
Yep.
A lot of times I'll like just mash on it with something. So.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's it.
But it doesn't vibrate. It doesn't vibrate. It's just the AirPod case, the battery case.
Yeah, you're just massaging it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I'll tell you, it's don't screw with your reef tanks, man. I'll tell you, don't.
Oh, like dumping stuff in them?
No, more. Don't think that you can't catch something serious out of your reef tank, right? You know, you've got Steve there's got MRSA.
Oh, somebody had MRSA?
Oh yeah, Steve Roger's got it. He got a staph infection from his tank.
Oh no! What did he get stabbed or how? Like,
he cut his hand on the rock, screwing around with the rock, and then his hand was in it. So,
and he didn't wound care it properly.
I'm going to guess he probably did, but sometimes, you know, like, listen, you know, I'll tell. My belief is this: if anything's ever going to kill us, all you got to do is look back at 1918 when the swine flu epidemic hit the U.S. Right, and then look at what the death rates over the world were. You know what I mean? There's some agile.
Oh yeah, we lost like global population dipped like a third, wasn't it? Didn't Europe fall like 70% at one point? Was that the Black Plague?
That was the Black Plague. Yeah, that was
70% of Europeans died.
Yep,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and all because of fleas.
Yep.
Right. So, you know, it doesn't. You know, you don't know where it's like Ebola. Now they think they've got Ebola, you know, licked, for lack of a better term, and they're still saying no. We just know how to support somebody through it. We're still, I guess one of the guys who survived it, the damage to him is irreparable to his organs. So, you know, you lived, but now you're all screwed up. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, FYI, I didn't get meningitis from my reef tank. In case if anybody thinks that, I don't want anyone to connect my illness to my reef tank.
What were you doing, sucking on a faucet?
Nah, I don't want to talk about it. I include an injury that
no, that's okay.
Caused it.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
No, in no way. Meningitis is another one. Trust me, you can get that so many different ways. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
No, my brother had spinal meningitis when he was a baby, and he became hydrocephalic, but he hadn't had the growth yet. You know, that big head that they talk about. And he was just sleepy. And my mother attributes him surviving to me always waking him up. So she finally took him to the hospital. And of course, they went, you know, code red. You know, everybody flipped out. They drained him, did all that stuff to him. So I honestly think that's what happened to him. Because he's an odd duckling, that kid. But, well, he's not a kid anymore. He's in the 40s, but sure doesn't act like it. But yeah, you know, you can get staph infections. You can get amoebic infections. There's all kinds of things.
Nigularia is another one you can get from the ocean. I don't know if it travels through reef tanks, but
you make water, you have rocks, you have something that came out of the wild. It's very possible. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you know, it's not like we're dipping and going under a microscope to make sure everything that could kill us is gone, right?
Yeah, and the MRSA, it's MRSA. That actually, it's an acronym. That it's resistant.
It can be. It can be deadly.
That you can get. Yeah, that you can get. You don't just like catch MRSA. Other infections can turn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually on you already. Like there's a Lucien Bouchard is a politician from Quebec who was leader of the Bloc Québécois, federal party, and he got it on his leg and lost his leg while he was in office.
God.
Right. So he had a staph A infection is where it started. Everything went kind of nuke on him. So their only choice to save him was to cut his leg off, and it was still touch and go for him. So, you know, and he does not have a reef tank. He does not do anything that you and I would consider dirty as a hobby, and yet that still happened to him. So it just shows you it's just out there, right? Hey, what's going on, Tom? What's going on, my captain? Put that up there for you, just in case you want to hop in if you got the time. But yeah, it's you know, that's just it. We deal with enough, and it's hard to believe that all of a sudden you do got to think about that. Put a glove on. You know what I mean? Especially when you're dealing with your rocks and your corals, put a glove on.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid. You know, no glove, no love. You know, like whatever makes it work for you. You know what I mean? So, well, hey, you know, if it works,
I'd rather go without love.
Again, you are such a mouthful. Phrasing.
I'm talking about my fish aquarium.
Sure you are. And we all believe you.
No love.
Now
just go, just be loveless. Just be loveless. Just don't have fish.
No, so yeah, you know, there you go. Oh, that sounds like Tom. We have background noise. Repeat, we have background noise. How you
Wife's
doing there?
gonna come in and curse about us in Swedish.
In Swedish, yeah. That's all right. We'll find out what it is, and then we'll all giggle like a bunch of school children that we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if my buddy's messaged me yet. I think he's the laziest son of a bitch on the planet. Oh no, I got another buddy who I help out from time to time. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's that'll work out actually well because DevStream will be running perfect. Not that I don't want to catch DevStream, but I can put it on in the background. So
yeah, that's another thing that I think is a good idea. The way you like somebody comes in and says, "Hey, so and so streaming," like it's an ally or whatever you want to call them. We can all hop over there, and then you do like, so this is like the pre-show. They do their stream, and then we come back and we talk about
what
stream.
They talked about. You got it. Yeah, why not?
I tell you this. That.
I look at it this way. Dev does all the work for me. He comes up with the topic. So the only work I do is keep everybody entertained pre-show. You know, do it, dance, monkey, dance. You know, and if listen to Offspring. There's a song, Dance. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, so I wonder what he wants today. Oh, what's up, man?
Do we know what subject Dev's got tonight?
You know what I did? I am so lax on that today. Give me a sec here. I'll figure it out right quick because he usually puts it up front. He was talking about it. I think he's got someone special coming in.
Ooh.
Double check that. Where you at, Reef Dudes? And that's a maybe. I'm not going to say he's got someone, but no, he has not put a 6-foot update. I know he's streaming. I know he does it around 3. So 7 UK. So hopefully Dev gets on. Maybe we can get a sneak peek.
7 UK, sure?
7 in the UK, he normally starts. 7 p.m.
Really? That's early, right?
No, he's later than that.
Is he later than that?
11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, it's about 10, 11
o'clock. It's about midnight. He starts really late. That's why I can't listen to it.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me figure something out. Maybe it's 3 my time.
Maybe.
Oh, 4.
Yeah, it's 3 Canadian time.
Yeah, so it's 3 his time, which would put it at 7 my time, which would put it at 11 over in the UK. That's right. That's why you guys have a hard, because it's like 11 o'clock by the time he gets on. That's right. So I'll see if I can find out what he's talking about. Might be worth a check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always listen to him the day after.
Yeah, we're any minute now. I'm probably gonna head out. I'll just drop off.
No, that's fine. Whatever you got to do. You know, we all.
I'm gonna have to go get lunch. I've got a couple of short ends.
Lunch. It's almost time for chips and some moonshine or something.
Yeah, chips and moonshine. No.
Moonshine.
Whiskey. She's in Texas, son.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually live in Texas.
Whiskey.
Yeah, whiskey, whiskey and moonshine. We have a lot of really, really good breweries here. Like around Houston, I'm a few hours from Austin, Texas. I don't know if you've heard of Austin.
In your basement?
You what?
In your basement?
No, not in my basement. I actually don't have a basement. In Houston, they don't have basements here because of the flooding. Because the water, because it's so wet here that, everyone's basements would flood. Because even if your area doesn't completely flood, if the water gets up to a certain line, which it does 5 times a year or more, every basement would flood. So it'd be pointless. And then, I mean, the damage that you do to your house, it'd be filled with mold. So so I think there's one house in all of Houston that I've heard of that had a basement, and that guy was like a former KGB.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it was well insulated beyond what normal people would have, but yeah.
It comes down to this. Like, I'm in Canada, everybody's got a basement.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you live in a flood zone.
We have attics here. We have attics here because it's
3 floor. Yeah. We call it, you guys go 3 floor. We do it, but we go 1 underground, 2 above. You guys go 3 above, right? And the reason being is flooding, right? Like, it makes sense. That's also why you see houses float away during severe flooding, because the slab lifts up. Like, I watched a chunk of the 105 highway in Burton. So on the other side of the river is what's called Sheffield, right? Literally, like, I'm in Burton, right across the river is called Sheffield. And this whole chunk, and it was a 1/4 of a mile long, lifted up because of the flooding, floated down the river, hit the bridge, the abutments, right? Thankfully didn't damage this multi-million-dollar bridge.
God.
Floated down and then took out the only access road to what's called Grand Lake. It floated into it and took out its single-lane bridge that had been there for like 60 years. So they had to rebuild it. Did they put in 2 lanes? Oh, hell no. That's too expensive. We'll just put that single lane again. You can't even get a truck across it, like full-size trucks, right? Those guys like don't do it, right? If you got a 3/4 ton pickup truck, you're not getting across unless you did not widen it in any way, right? So, you know, there you go. And that's water. There's the power of water, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And again, you know, people don't understand what they're messing with. So, but so I'm sitting here thinking, I think what we're going to do, it's 2:00 here. I do have a ton of stuff personally myself to do today. And I think we all got stuff to do today. Dev stream's going to be coming up in about 4 hours, I think is what it is, right? 4 to 5 hours.
It will be,
yeah. So I'm of the frame of mind. I for those that don't know, and I guess I'll bring it up again because it was just such a bloody event. My wife had said the blue tang in my tank was attacking my shrimp. We got it on video. I'm going to make a video and show it. And you know, the catching. We want to get it on film, man, I'm dating myself. I want to say tape. Right?
Your cassette.
I want to catch it on video to show everybody my technique for getting a tang. Yeah, so once I get him. But then what happened, about an hour later, I thought I heard a pop, like a snap. And it turned out that the feed line for my RODI unit, which is under about 80 pounds of pressure, blew out and was dumping on the floor for 15 to 20 minutes. And we wound up with somewhere between, I'd say, 50 to 100 gallons of water. I mean, I wasn't really checking. I was just throwing every towel in the house down to catch all this water. I have pictures of that, and it was my own fault. I was running a soft 1/4-inch line, and it was in behind my stove, and we think 2 years of just being mildly heated up occasionally caused it to expand enough that it caused a weak point eventually, and then bang, it went. So I'm going packs.
So had you put all that, the pipes that you're talking about, you had put all that in yourself?
Oh yeah, I ran that myself, and that was my own.
So and that was to do your water changes?
Yeah, that's to run my RODI unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to shield it this time, Greg?
Yeah, I'm going to put some aluminum foil over the front, reflecting the heat back. So,
well,
why don't you just put a pipe in?
You know what I was thinking? I got a piece of PEX, and I was thinking, you know, if I ran it inside the PEX, that should actually protect it for the most part.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And then even if it bursts,
you can get cheap insulation, like the insulation that they use for even houses that has the foil on the outside. You can just cut like a small piece of it and wrap it around it and use the foil, the duct tape, the actual metal duct tape.
You got it. So.
Yeah. So I mean, I know you know all this. You're smart, but I'm just throwing out like an idea.
There you go. So my phone's starting to ring again. So there we go. So I'm going to cut it for now. And that's what I'm dealing with. I'm still cleaning up from that, and that's why I also want to get off so I can actually get some of that done for the wife before she gets home. Yeah, which will make my life happier.
But another thing with that insulation, that could probably protect it if you had a minor fire. As long as the entire tube is protected, you could put fire under that, and it's not just the heat. It's also like, I mean, it's really going to protect it. So,
exactly.
But you said it was behind a stove, so it's not like it's going to be getting
blasted all the time. Foil for the barbecue is much better to keep the heat away.
I'll put the reflective side out just to kick away some heat. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, gals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Catch you later.
We'll get back on a little later, and we'll discuss what Cruz was talking about or something. You never know.
Okay.
Cruz, not Cruz. Well, we might talk about what Cruz was talking about because he.
I want to send me a link. Real quick, Craig, send me a link to the video you were talking about, the peroxide thing. I want to watch that guy's video.
Sure. Hold on here. Yeah. I got Roger here somewhere. Hold on.
I like RotTube.
Yeah.
You like what?
Such a cool guy. I like Steve RotTube. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, but he does things before thinking.
Sometimes he does. Yeah,
stressful.
Indeed.
Needs to slow down.
I think I told you I had a mishap with peroxide. Fortunately, I didn't put it in my tank, but I was given some excruciatingly bad advice. So
you will listen to us.
There you go, guys.
I will now.
Here's the link. The link is in the chat. Oh, I forgot to shorten it. Hold on. That's not going to work. There we go. Ignore the first link. And
it did. It actually did. That one
did work. Cool. Yeah, and this is the secondary one. There you go, folks. Have a look at that. Maybe it's something we'll discuss later. And maybe I'll see if I can get a hold of Steve. I'd love to hear his thoughts on what he was thinking there. So you never know. All right, folks. Have a good one.
Bye. Yep. See you later.
Bye. Laters.